Going to get another charge there, but the switch coming through right in the middle of the teleport. Looks
At
like
the point of 2 ciphers, and
Oh.
unfortunately, just being able to predict where the first officer is and using teleport to get you back to the chair to cut off the rescue.
nicely done.
Right, especially because we are still at 5 ciphers.
Yeah, looks like forward heading in, looking for a stun, but no, actually gonna go straight into the basement, baiting out that basic hit. But oh no!
Well, Parashot!
Well, we are looking at a little bit of a basement party here. We could be looking at an even more of a basement party. Sculptor is at full presence now. We did just land that chip hit in on the Gardener. Gardener has to be very, very cautious with this. We are going to get the bubble up. Forward has been rescued. We also have Perfumer out of the chair as well.
Here.
All survivors just trying to scramble out of the basement. We've got the fall hit in on the forward. Gardener also taking a basic hit, but it looks like four-man endgame here. And Balmer, obviously without borrowed time, is going to go down, but we do have that coffin up all the way across the map.
We have
Survivors
a lot of
scattering
really
here.
movement coming off of our survivors here. It looks like we are running towards the back gate. You know, we're getting a little bit lost here, just wanting to deal with that mercenary, but beautiful mirror hit.
Dancer is going to be able to set up a lot of boxes in this area and continue this containment.
Setting down the trap right in the crevice of that pallet. You know, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're not getting lost, especially on the playing field here. You know, beautiful job coming off of this female dancer. Really focusing on staying out of the area of these hooks. We're gonna see the gamekeeper break one of those slow boxes, but just one of them couldn't be not enough here.
Ooh, and unfortunately the hook is going to connect, but Gamekeeper actually missing the first hit there, missing the hit once again. Dancer taking huge advantage of these slow boxes, missing again there on that vault. Are we going to be able to take the coaster away?
Using the fall down speed boost here, we are going to see the dancer get away as much as the Bane is kind of blocking off the entrance here with these traps, using the hook and missing the hit here
with the flywheel there, avoiding that hit, but Patient getting stuck on Gamekeeper's body. That's going to be an immediate down there, not quite able to get that rescue off. Very aggressive approach here. Coordinator is going to blast off here in just a moment, not going to be rescued. We do have 4 ciphers remaining though, and female dancer cipher is hard at work. Going to miss that soul hit, and we're going to miss the basic hit as well. Forward just getting into the area. Wow.
I don't know if you saw that, but to miss that basic hit, the forward actually used his flywheel. It was a perfect missing the blink on the pallet here. You know, this is really great coming up of this forward here.
Just an insane containment here, and really the vaulting speed of this forward is making this so, just really working out for forward. We're going to use the ball once again here, just transition to another pallet. Looks like we have about half the ball left, so we can definitely still come in for a stun. Oh my goodness!
Beautiful containment coming off of this forward here. Oh my goodness, and missing every smack inside the pallet, wide and open as this shack area. Beautiful soul snipe coming off of this exploit.
But Coordinator with a lot of distance there, definitely playing it safe with that gun. Oh, but with the soul snipe!
Forward out of his hiding space.
Ooh.
Another soul snipe here. In a giant claw on this this exploits build, which reduces the struggle speed. Really beautiful soul snipe is going off. This exploit is just catching wind of it.
Yeah, Dancer unfortunately not quite healed enough forward in the area, and a beautiful soul snipe, just not quite on that prediction there. Axboy very aware of the patient's location. Going to get another charge there, but the switch coming through right in the middle of the teleport. Looks like
a pivotal point of 2 ciphers, and unfortunately, just being able to predict where the first first officer is using teleport to get you back to the chair to cut off the rescue.
Nicely
oh.
done.
Right, especially because we are still at 5 ciphers.
Yeah, looks like forward heading in, looking for a stun, but no, actually gonna go straight into the basement, baiting out that basic hit. But oh no!
Well, terror shot!
Well, we are looking at a little bit of a basement party here. We could be looking at an even more of a basement party. Sculptor is at full presence now. We did just land that chip hit in on the Gardener. Gardener has to be very, very cautious with this. We are going to get the bubble up. Forward has been rescued. We also have Perfumer out of the chair as well.
Here.
All survivors just trying to scramble out of the basement. We've got the fall hit in on the forward. Gardener also taking a basic hit, but it looks like four-man endgame here. And Balmer, obviously without borrowed time, is going to go down, but we do have that coffin up all the way across the map. Survivors scattering here.
Coming off of our survivors here, it looks like we are running towards the back gate. You know, we're getting a little bit lost here, just wanting to deal with that mercenary, but oh, beautiful mirror.
Dancer is going to be able to set up a lot of boxes in this area and continue this containment.
Setting down the trap right in the crevice of that pallet. You know, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're not getting lost, especially on the playing field here. You know, beautiful job coming off of this female dancer, really focusing on staying out of the area of these hooks. We're gonna see the gamekeeper break one of those slow boxes, but just one of them couldn't be not enough here.
Ooh, and unfortunately the hook is going to connect, but Gamekeeper actually missing the first hit there, missing the hit once again. Dancer taking huge advantage of these slow boxes, missing again there on that vault. Are we going to be able to take the coaster away?
Using the fall down speed boost here, we are going to see the dancer get away as much as the Bane is kind of blocking off the entrance here with these traps, using the hook and missing the hit here
with the flywheel there, avoiding that hit, but Patient getting stuck on Gamekeeper's body. That's going to be an immediate down there. Not quite able to get that rescue off. Very aggressive approach here. Coordinator is going to blast off here in just a moment, not going to be rescued. We do have 4 ciphers remaining though, and female dancer cipher is hard at work. Going to miss that soul hit, and we're going to miss the basic hit as well. Forward just getting into the area. Wow.
I don't know if you saw that, but to miss that basic hit, the forward actually used his flywheel. It was a perfect missing the blink on the pallet here. You know, this is really great coming up of this forward here.
Just an insane containment here, and really the vaulting speed of this forward is making this so, you know, just really working out for forward. We're going to use the ball once again here, just transition to another pallet. Looks like we have about half the ball left, so we can definitely still come in for a stun. Oh my goodness!
Beautiful containment coming off of this forward here. Oh my goodness, and missing every smack inside the pallet wide and open as this shack area. Oh, beautiful soul snipe coming up of this exploit.
But Coordinator with a lot of distance there, definitely playing it safe with that gun. Oh, but with the soul snipe!
Forward out of his hiding space.
Going to get another charge there, but the switch coming through right in the middle of the teleport. Looks like
a middle point of 2 ciphers, and unfortunately, just being able to predict where the first officer is and using teleport to get you back to the chair to cut off the rescue.
Nicely done.
Right, especially because we are still at 5 ciphers.
Yeah, looks like forward heading in, looking for a stun, but no, actually gonna go straight into the basement, baiting out that basic hit. But oh no!
Well, terror shot!
Going to get another charge there, but the switch coming through right in the middle of the teleport. Looks
a
like
pivotal point of 2 ciphers, and
Oh.
unfortunately, just being able to predict where the first officer is and using teleport to get you back to the chair to cut off the rescue.
nicely
oh.
done.
Right, especially because we are still at 5 ciphers.
Yeah, looks like forward heading in, looking for a stun, but no, actually gonna go straight into the basement, baiting out that basic hit. But oh no!
Well, Parashock!
Well, we are looking at a little bit of a basement party here. We could be looking at an even more of a basement party. Sculptor is at full presence now. We did just land that chip hit in on the Gardener. Gardener has to be very, very cautious with this. We are gonna get the bubble up. Forward has been rescued. We also have Perfumer out of the chair as well.
Here.
All survivors just trying to scramble out of the basement. We've got the fall hit in on the forward. Gardner also taking a basic hit, but it looks like four-man endgame here. And Balmer, obviously without borrowed time, is going to go down, but we do have that coffin up all the way across the map. Survivors scattering here.
Coming off of our survivors here, it looks like we are running towards the back gate. You know, we're getting a little bit lost here, just wanting to deal with that mercenary, but beautiful mirror.
Dancer is going to be able to set up a lot of boxes in this area and continue this containment.
Setting down the trap right in the crevice of that pallet. You know, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're not getting lost, especially on the playing field here. You know, beautiful job coming off of this female dancer. Really focusing on staying out of the area of these hooks. We're gonna see the gamekeeper break one of those slow boxes, but just one of them couldn't be not enough here.
Ooh, and unfortunately the hook is going to connect, but Gamekeeper actually missing the first hit there, missing the hit once again. Dancer taking huge advantage of these slow boxes, missing again there on that vault. Are we going to be able to take the coaster away?
Using the fall down speed boost here, we are going to see the dancer get away as much as the Bane is kind of blocking off the entrance here with these traps, using the hook and missing the hit here
with the flywheel there, avoiding that hit, but Patient getting stuck on Gamekeeper's body. That's going to be an immediate down there. Not quite able to get that rescue. Very aggressive approach here. Coordinator is going to blast off here in just a moment, not going to be rescued. We do have 4 ciphers remaining though, and female dancer cipher is hard at work. Going to miss that soul hit, and we're going to miss the basic hit as well. Forward just getting into the area. Wow.
I don't know if you saw that, but to miss that basic hit, the forward actually used his flywheel. It was a perfect missing the blink on the pallet here. You know, this is really great coming up of this forward here.
Just an insane containment here, and really the vaulting speed of this forward is making this so, just really working out for forward. We're going to use the ball once again here, just transition to another pallet. Looks like we have about half the ball left, so we can definitely still come in for a stun. Oh my goodness!
Beautiful containment coming off of this forward here. Oh my goodness, and missing every smack inside the pallet, wide and open as this shack area. Beautiful soul snipe coming up of this exploit.
But Coordinator with a lot of distance there, definitely playing it safe with that gun. Oh, but with the soul snipe!
Forward out of his hiding space. Another soul snipe here. In a giant claw on this this exploits build, which reduces the struggle speed. Really beautiful soul snipe is going off. This exploit is just catching wind of it.
Yeah, Dancer unfortunately not quite healed enough forward in the area, and a beautiful soul snipe, just not quite on that prediction there. Axboy very aware of the patient's location. Going to get another charge there, but the switch coming through right in the middle of the teleport. Looks like
a pivotal point of 2 ciphers, and unfortunately, just being able to predict where the first officer is using teleport to get you back to the chair to cut off the rescue.
Nicely
oh.
done.
Right, especially because we are still at 5 ciphers.
Yeah, looks like forward heading in, looking for a stun, but no, actually gonna go straight into the basement, baiting out that basic hit. But oh no!
Well, terror shock!
Well, we are looking at a little bit of a basement party here. We could be looking at an even more of a basement party. Sculptor is at full presence now. We did just land that chip hit in on the Gardener. Gardener has to be very, very cautious with this. We are going to get the bubble up. Forward has been rescued. We also have Perfumer out of the chair as well. All survivors just trying to scramble out of the basement. We've got the fall hit in on the forward. Gardener also taking a basic hit, but it looks like four-man endgame here. And Balmer, obviously without borrowed time, is going to go down, but we do have that coffin up all the way across the map. Survivors scattering here.
Coming off of our survivors here, it looks like we are running towards the back gate. You know, we're getting a little bit lost here, just wanting to deal with that mercenary, but oh, beautiful mirror.
Dancer is going to be able to set up a lot of boxes in this area and continue this containment.
Setting down the trap right in the crevice of that pallet. You know, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're not getting lost, especially on the playing field here. You know, beautiful job coming off of this female dancer, really focusing on staying out of the area of these hooks. We're gonna see the gamekeeper break one of those slow boxes, but just one of them couldn't be not enough here.
Ooh, and unfortunately the hook is going to connect, but Gamekeeper actually missing the first hit there, missing the hit once again. Dancer taking huge advantage of these slow boxes, missing again there on that vault. Are we going to be able to take the coaster away?
Using the fall down speed boost here, we are going to see the dancer get away as much as the Bane is kind of blocking off the entrance here with these traps, using the hook and missing the hit here on
with the flywheel there, avoiding that hit, but Patient getting stuck on Gamekeeper's body. That's going to be an immediate down there. Not quite able to get that rescue. Very aggressive approach here. Coordinator is going to blast off here in just a moment. Not going to be rescued. We do have 4 ciphers remaining though, and female dancer cipher is hard at work. Going to miss that soul hit, and we're going to miss the basic hit as well. Forward just getting into the area. Wow.
I don't know if you saw that, but to miss that basic hit, the forward actually used his flywheel. It was a perfect missing the blink on the pallet here. You know, this is really great coming up of this forward here.
Just an insane containment here, and really the vaulting speed of this forward is making this so, just really working out for forward. We're going to use the ball once again here, just transition to another pallet. Looks like we have about half the ball left, so we can definitely still come in for a stun. Oh my goodness!
Beautiful containment coming off of this forward here.
All right, yep, we are live. Welcome back to the final day of LO League. I am Bones, and I'm here with Bugs today. We're going to be having some very fun, exciting, and high-intensity rounds coming up with our 2 final teams, Fusion and CH4. How are you feeling today, Bugs?
Feeling good. I'm really excited to see what kind of gameplay that we see today.
Yeah, I mean, the other day with CH4's qualifying match was so exciting. I was super happy to be able to commentate for that. And Fusion as well last week. I mean, we've seen both of these teams and
Right.
what they're capable of kind of time and time again. It feels a little bit like kind of a battle that was fated to happen almost, with these 2 just heavy hitting kind of veteran teams in the NAU scene. So yeah, I am so excited to see what we have in store for us.
Yeah, it's definitely like you said, it's almost fated to happen. It's like uh it both teams are just so well organized and like they truly do have so much power together. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Like, because it's anyone's game at this point. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, they've been consistently at the top. They have consistently
Hmm.
top players. And I feel like, we kind of saw two very, very differently natured matches in the qualifying matches between CH4 and Fusion. Fusion really, really up to date with meta, bringing out Opera Singer, bringing out Gamekeeper, Geisha, obviously, Mushin famous for. So, kind of really, really going heavy on the harassment. Meanwhile, CH4 really sticking to their guns, bringing out the Axe Boy once again from Ling. Always
Hmm.
super fun to see. We've seen Ling's Bloody Queen as well during this tournament. So I feel like, we have the two teams that are kind of very different in mentality, despite both being kind of mainstays and staples of the NAAU scene. So I'm really excited to see how they fare against each other.
It's actually really funny because I had taken a nap when CH4 was playing Friday? Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Friday. And I woke up and Mian had told me, she was like, "Yeah, you missed a really good Robbie
Oh,
match."
oh no.
And I was so distraught because I've been waiting to see Robbie. And I
Yeah, I
was
mean, we've all been waiting to see Robbie. He's the mascot
yeah.
of the tournament.
Happy birthday, Robbie.
Is his birthday?
No.
Oh,
It's not his birthday. It's his
wow.
birthday in my heart always. Happy birthday, Robbie. Happy
This
birthday,
is
Bubble.
true. As an aside, my friend actually just named a kitten after Robbie.
That's so cute.
It's very, very cute. But yeah, I would say definitely hoping to see the Axe Boy coming out
Mhm.
today again. Um I would put money on a geisha. I would say I don't know if Mima's in chat right now, but for Mima, I will put out a call for a fool's gold.
Foog Good old Foog the Toost.
Good old fool's gold. Fool's gold winning deduction star as well.
I know, congrats
Our deduction star sweep, I guess.
to everybody who, was rooting for him, and congrats to everybody who's rooting for,
Any of the other hunters.
uh well, I don't wanna say congrats to people who are rooting for Alva because but
Wow. Okay, I see how
sorry,
it is.
sorry, I'm a
You're not
hater.
gonna believe who I was rooting for.
Gamekeeper?
Actually, I put all my votes into Alice except for the 10 votes that I put into Leo just to make posters.
Oh,
So I did my
yes.
part.
I allocated my votes to Annie for Mima's sake.
This is
Fortunately, it did
this
not
is
fall
fair.
through.
This is fair. I'm manifesting a toy merchant win for next year.
Yep, it's gotta happen eventually.
I hope it does. But we are gonna get the new toy merchant skin for the autism disability not crossover, but collab, which I'm
Yeah, the
really, really
autism
excited
collab.
about.
I'm very excited about that. It's always, wonderful to see the collabs that they do with charities, and I'm really, really happy because it makes me feel seen. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the vision impairment one with Helena last year was really, really nice. So I'm
mhm,
glad to see that we're doing more of the charity stuff. I'm glad to kind of, it's fun. It's really fun. So
mhm.
I'm excited to see kind of what the next year brings. We also saw new characters, a lot of new characters.
Yeah.
Um I'm holding out on Jeff. I'm holding out on Jeffrey, Mr. Goatman.
He actually looks like a character from a different game that I've played. Not gonna name
Really?
yeah, he looks a lot like, mm, Dr.
You could
Mundo from League of Legends.
Wow.
Shameful, shameful, shameful to admit on stream, but,
It's all right. We all have our secrets.
yeah, we all have our skeletons in the closet, of course. But, you
But
were
yeah, looks like we are gonna head into ban pick now. We've got a Moonlit River Park ban, and with that, we are gonna be seeing Ever Sleeping Town for this first half. A very fun map and a very good map, especially if we are looking at Opera Singer here. She is very strong on this map, but also
mhm,
can still be countered. It is a very strong map for survivors as well. So starting
yep,
off on an even keel for these teams to kind of feel each other out.
yep. Uh, It's actually one of my favorite maps too, so always excited to see that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love seeing Ever Sleeping Town. And there's a lot
Mhm.
of, there's a lot of different there's a lot of different kind of ways that you can use the map as well, kind of working with the walls, working with the levels on it. But it looks like we are going to get our first two bands in here. We're going to have Antiquarian as well as Coordinator. So kind of looking for those first two picks to be a little bit more high risk, high reward here. Coordinator, a
Mhm.
very common first pick. Once again, in case in case this is your first time tuning in, just to recap, first two picks of every round are going to be globally banned for the remainder of the rounds. So this does mean that teams need to strategize a lot more when picking their first two survivors because, whoever you pick first, you're not going to be able to access for the rest of the BO3. So this is going to be BO3, 3 rounds, best out of 3 rounds. And for those first two picks, it looks like we will be seeing the cheerleader as well as the perfumer.
Huh, this is so sad for me. I won't be able to see them again after this match, perhaps. But parting is such sweet sorrow, and as much as I love them, I'm fully accepted that they are, a big, big problem, and you kind of want to get them out of the way the first round too.
Yeah, I mean, they are very, very strong picks here. Cheerleader,
Hmm.
oh, yeah, Cheerleader is very, very strong on this map. There's a lot of areas just for her to transition into Perfumer as well. We have been seeing as kind of an up and coming opera singer counter pick here. We are going to see First Officer locked in as our band, so that does indicate an opera singer pick. First Officer is the strongest rescuer against Opera Singer, doesn't have kind of the dash liability of the Mercenary going up against the Opera Singer's dash. And we are going to see a batter locked in, which I am very excited to see. We saw a lot of batter this year in Call of the Abyss. I'm really excited to kind of see batter sort of emerging into the meta. Of course, we do have that impending nerf, but up until that point, I'm excited to see what batter is capable of here.
Right. We also have our final pick coming in with the mercenary. Uh, Pretty much an expected face at this point. He's kind of always in matches, and he's always been very good, even with his unfortunate nerf to his delayed damage. But he really does bring a lot to the team, so it's good to have him in the first round if he is allowed. And it's very interesting that they picked Batter when they banned the antiquarian as well as the coordinator. Batter is kind of like a secondary antiquarian, just a little bit. He has the ability to stun as opposed to the antiquarian just locking you off for a little bit.
Yeah, although Batter stun is relatively short. I feel like
Mhm.
Batter here, I'm excited to see if we're able to get some of those vault cancels. I think that's really where Batter starts to shine. If
Right.
you hit the hunter with the ball while they're vaulting over a window, pretty much vaulting over any point,
Yeah.
they will be knocked out of the vault and just sent back into whatever. We actually saw this on Eversleeping as well as a multitude of maps, but really on Eversleeping in the
Mhm.
final game of Koa this year. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be watching that batter. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this batter because that
Mhm.
is especially with, obviously Hunter does not want Antiquarian, does not want Coordinator, really not looking to deal with that harassment. Having the batter on the team here is going to be a very valuable thing for CH4.
Yeah, it definitely seems to me that they are trying to build a team that can counter or stand a chance against an opera singer uh for this first round here. And it's pretty solid, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a very strong team comp here. I'm definitely excited to see, because the thing is, obviously, Opera Singer is kind of the cream of the crop of the meta for a
Mhm.
reason. But you do have, Perfumer can take multiple hits. Cheerleader can break huge amounts of distance and also come in to support her teammates. Batter can also come in to support teammates as well as just repeatedly harass. I think that's really where Batter excels as well, is just being able
Yeah,
to kind
he
of
can just pick up the
reload
ball.
that harassment. Yeah, he could just keep picking the ball up and kind of roll around like that. But actually, no, we're not going to be seeing an opera singer here today. We're actually going to see the Gamekeeper first round, which
Ooh.
is not so unconventional anymore. Gamekeeper's really been coming up when the meta. Also facing a nerf at the end of the season, unfortunately, similarly to Batter. But I'm very excited to see the Gamekeeper here, mostly because that means these survivors are going to have to re-strategize in real time. They were very likely expecting that Gamekeeper here, but Gamekeeper against Mercenary can be very, very dangerous for the Mercenary because as soon as Gamekeeper hits that tier 1 presence, that hook does chip damage. Mercenary very vulnerable to chip damage. It makes him incapable of taking extra hits. So that's something CH4 is really going to have to be conscious of.
Yeah, and even Perfumer is gonna probably struggle against the Gamekeeper as he can, place down the traps on the Perfume like image
Yeah.
and trap her and make her unable to go back to her original state. It's really going to be interesting to see how they re-strategize and utilize this team that they have.
I think the most interesting thing here is that, First Officer, obviously an opera singer ban, but also a Gamekeeper ban for that same reason. Gamekeeper, I would say Gamekeeper doesn't necessarily struggle against the First Officer. He's just more annoying than a Mercenary because he's more difficult to land the hook. It's much more likely for the First Officer to not be where you throw the hook, waste the hook, send it into cooldown, and allow for that rescue or allow for a longer containment. So First Officer, definitely kind of the meta rescuer here. Very good to take him off the table. And it served as that opera singer bait, and allowed for kind of this surprise Bane to come out on us.
Yeah, and it begins to make a lot more sense as to why he would ban uh the stunners as Bane is a little bit daggered by crowd control characters.
Hmm.
So it really does shine some light on these bands. But I do think personally that they were trying to bait an opera singer team with these bands as well.
Yeah. I think that's also a big reason why Gamekeeper's kind of emerged into the meta, not only because he kind of fills a similar role to Opera Singer with that infinite hook kind of standing in for the infinite dash, but
Hmm.
also because he counters most of Opera Singer's counters. Anybody who can do really well against Opera Singer can, kind of get stopped in their tracks by Bane. So I'm very excited to see, if Fusion is able to exploit that here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be really interesting.
But yeah, getting into the match here, we do. Yeah, we do have. I'm sorry, I'm trying to squint at the Persona webs here. Looks like we are bringing Double Tide. That was something that I was curious about going into this match if we were going to see a Double Tide. But Double Tide Perfumer here, I feel like is a little bit dangerous, especially since we're not working with an opera singer. I feel like that's a Persona pick that was definitely kind of banking on opera singer. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. But getting into our spawn picks here, it looks like we are going to go for a more defensive position for Perfumer here, putting her in that graveyard there. We're going to have Cheerleader down at the fake gate, Batter in the center here, baiting that first chase, and Mercenary in the corner house. So a little bit of an interesting spawn here, really looking to keep Gamekeeper away from that Perfumer. I think that CH4 here is very, very conscious of the fact that, as you said, Bugs, Gamekeeper can't just place a trap down and render those perfumes useless.
Hmm. We will be getting into the match shortly. I'm Bugspite, this is Bones, and we will be viewing CH4 versus Fusion. Yippee!
Yay, and
Lucky
good luck
teams.
to both. Yep, good luck to both teams.
Good job, man.
Yeah. But heading in here, it looks like we're actually going to go. Looks like we're taking a route pretty directly towards Cheerleader. Going to place an early trap there. A lot of the fun with Gamekeeper, I think, is placing early traps, because they will pay off at the end of the match and no one knows they're there. So placing more traps here at the drop pallet here, looking towards the other side of the map. And it looks like we are going to catch sight of Cheerleader's blood trail, and she will be transitioning into Graveyard. It does look like Perfumer's been able to rotate out of there, though, so that is very good. But Cheerleader is going to be our first chase, and with a good first hit there.
Very beautiful discipline on the gamekeeper. Gonna be setting up another trap here at the window just in case she does decide to loop back. She has used her Inspire to get back that Motivate ability. Setting up a bunch of traps to almost lock off the area so as to trap the cheerleader here.
Yeah. Oh, but getting the hook over the
Beautiful
pallet,
hook.
a terror
Terror
shock.
shock.
Nicely done. That does give us an extra hit of presence there as well, which is going to be very, very handy coming into the later half of this match. And we are also over basement, but we're not actually going to go for it. It looks like Mushin does want to bait this rescue, force the survivors to rescue here in order to get more damage on the team. That's very, very smart. We're not looking for a draw here. Basement does tend to lead to a draw just because they can sell. And I would say they're probably in the business of selling here, but Mushin looking to sniff them out, looking to get that extra damage on this rescue, get a little bit more pressure on these survivors.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems that we are seeing movement as well. The perfumer seems to be making her way over to the cheerleader to try and rescue after half. The batter will be forced off his Cypher, but I have a feeling he's just gonna go right back and say, yeah, I don't really care about what you have to say to me right now.
Yep, looks like we are going to go ahead and return to the chair. Coming in for the rescue, I believe that is Perfumer. Actually, Batter as well on the harass. Perfumer doing a nice backdoor rescue here with that Tide Turner. Nice job being able to just sneak around Gamekeeper like that. We're going to play around this pallet, but oh, nicely done on that dodge, but the Blink coming in!
Out. Wonderful Blink! But
Yeah,
now we
that
have
is-
Batter in the area. Oh, seems like he's retreating actually. We might be able to see a little bit of harassment come out. I wouldn't personally do so, considering we're so behind on ciphers. But we will be seeing the cheerleader going back to the manor.
Yeah, I do think that the lack of harassment there was also because Gamekeeper's not yet at full presence, but very, very close to it. So, you know, we don't want to unlock that full presence, allow Gamekeeper to have that infinite hook just yet. It will be coming, but not just yet. You know, it's better to kind of reserve resources. But heading up for this next kite, looks like we are going to see Mercenary taking that.
It's
Oh, no,
such a
the
trap.
shot from earlier! And there's that chip damage coming in. We're going to have Merc at 3/4 health, but that's exactly what I was saying. Those traps at the start of the game can be so useful. Just great to see that come through.
Completely forgot about that trap. Wonderful utilization of it too. What a good placement. Seeing the mercenary, or the gamekeeper rather, really dedicating this chase to the mercenary, and forcing him to use his elbow pads just to try and run away.
Yeah, he's going to need to expend those pretty quickly here, but unfortunately just going to get caught at the pallet there and go down. That is going to be, yeah, that's going to be Mercenary down here. Batter and Perfumer are still at full health, so they can definitely come into rescue. The issue, though, of course, is that they are pretty far away from the chair. Gamekeeper can't place traps close to the chair, but he can definitely place them far away from the chair, and I would really expect to see those coming in sooner or later, or at the very least, just catching Batter here in the center of the map. Nicely done with that ball to knock Gamekeeper out of the animation, but unfortunately, we are going to get the basic hit here.
However, he doesn't have a hook, so this is a pretty good situation to be in. Unfortunately, the batter does not have Tide. He is running 9-12 at the moment. But the mercenary seems like we're giving a chase on the mercenary, going for the batter instead.
Yeah, I think at this point we're looking to get more towards where the ciphers are. So we are going to go for Batter here. We do have one cipher remaining. Hook has been sent to the cooldown, though. Nicely done on that dodge by the Batter. And we have switched to teleport here. So Mushin kind of looking around there for a second, trying to see where that cipher is shaking to try and teleport possibly. But nicely done with the hook bait, though, not wanting to get stunned out of it once again. And Batter is, in fact, going to take that hit. No flywheel coming out here, and that is going to be a down. And we do need to be careful of that tram. Ooh, that was very, very close, but we did
Just
get the
missed
teleport
him.
off.
Now we're switching our focus back to the mercenary, trying to stagger the decoding progress just a little bit more, as well as force the survivors to make a decision. Do we want to heal the batter or do we want to focus on decoding? Especially since the batter doesn't even have 3 to pick himself up once the Cypher pops.
Yeah, and that timer on the tram was not taking any prisoners there, picking up the Mercenary with only 3 seconds to spare, but that will be Mercenary's second chair here. And it looks like that final Cypher might actually be in the middle here. Perfumer, unfortunately, not able to hide. We are going to trap off the Cypher as well. Perfumer not able to get any of those perfumes out in time. We are going to get the rescue, but unfortunately, Perfumer will be at half health here.
Narrowly
Unable to
missing the
really
hook
utilize
there.
her perfumes. Yeah.
Seems that we have the batter working on a separate Cypher, as opposed to the one in the middle, as it has been trapped off, and the placement of it is just really unfortunate all around. But we have no survivors that can rescue at this moment unless that Cypher gets prime. Oh, he's dead. Oops.
Yeah, Mercenary was on final chair there. We are going to take a second and trap off the gate here. They are going to be able to pop the Cypher, though, so that does bring us to a possible... I would say we can look at a one-man escape here if they're able to get the gate open. Heading on to Batter here. Ball is up once again. Batter looking to knock Mushin out of that hook, but unfortunately not quite going to go through. Nicely done on that hook, and no flywheel in sight. That is going to be battered down. Now, he has used the self-heal, so yes, Gamekeeper is free to teleport to the other gate, which is not open yet. Perfumer right in the area here with a detention Gamekeeper. This is looking like a 4-man elimination here.
Yes, especially since missing the hook just narrowly on that little post there. I completely lost my train of thought.
You're fine. If Perfumer can... Oh, nicely done on that
beautiful
perfume. We're going
perfume.
also... Yeah, forcing Gamekeeper to break that pallet as well to give a little bit of a semblance of attack recovery there is really nice. But a little bit of pressure here, playing around this window, forcing Perfumer to transition out of the area. She has 1 perfume left, but unfortunately that's not going to be used. She will go down, and that is a 4-man elimination here for Fusion in round 1.
Absolutely beautiful gameplay from Mushin there. It really seemed like he had complete control over the map during all times. It was really beautiful, especially the discipline that it took to sorry, my train of thought has gone once again. Whoops.
No, you're fine. But it definitely was, a lot of discipline, a lot of just focus on these survivors on this match. Cypher decoding progress too was really, really slow, and Mushin was able to exploit that. We are seeing that Perfumer with 311% decoding as quite a bit of decoding on that Perfumer there, especially since she was also pulling off 2 rescues at the same time. So.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of discipline here from Gamekeeper, kind of keeping the survivors off the Cyphers as well. But really well played by CH4 survivors as well. With that backdoor rescue in the early game, Batter acting as a distraction, Perfumer sneaking in behind for the Tide Turner did buy them a lot of time. As well as the Batter being able to knock Gamekeeper out of that hook in the early game, unfortunately. Obviously Gamekeeper did kind of adapt and adjust, knowing that Batter was capable of that. Really not wanting to see kind of that long, I think it's like 14 seconds of hook cooldown. So not a position that you want to be forced into, but very nicely done on Batter for being able to accomplish that just once. I was very worried about that teleport there right at the corner of the tram, because I have seen the tram knock hunters out of teleport in tournament.
Yeah.
I've watched that happen, and it's terrifying.
It's really unfortunate when it does happen, but it's also a really good laugh for us, so
God.
uh
Everybody does love to see the tram.
the tram kill count, we really do need one. It's probably up to 5 about now. Definitely a really viable hunter in this meta.
Yeah, I think we could safely say tram FMVP at the end of this.
Yep. Once again, we will be playing on Ever Sleeping Town, so the tram might come through. We might see some Tram
Tram
hits.
might come through in the second half of this round. But yeah, I am very excited to get into the second half here. We are going to have CH4 on the Hunter side this time and Fusion on the Survivor side. So definitely really interested to see what we come out with here for Fusion Survivors. But a little bit of an anticipatory ban here, it looks like, from CH4's side. We've got Antiquarian as well as Novelist, and I did have the entertainment, I suppose, of watching Fusion's Novelist come out last week in their qualifying match, and that Novelist ban is definitely warranted. You can
Mhm.
go back to the Fusion versus AT, I believe it was AT. Um, that match was just absolutely incredible from Fusion's Novelist. So definitely not surprised at that ban, but we will be seeing we'll be seeing another perfumer here as well as Gardener for our first two picks.
We will be unfortunately saying goodbye to Perfumer, but also Gardener. And we will also be seeing our third band come through on the Cheerleader, which completely understandable. She offers so much support and she's typically pretty hard to catch. But in her place, we will be seeing a Wildling.
Yeah, Wildling pick here is very interesting. We have actually been seeing Wildling kind of coming up in the meta as an
Mm,
opera singer counter, which is it's interesting to me personally because the thing with Wildling is that he's kind of high risk, high reward. You do have, the strength of the boar on your side. You can pull off a lot of really good plays by pushing Opera Singer away, acting as a tank as well to kind of slow down the Opera Singer. Unfortunately, Wildling does have it's a 30% debuff on his movement speed when he's not on the boar.
mhm.
So getting caught, free walking as a wildling against an opera singer is pretty much just a finished battle at that point because he just can't move fast enough to get out of the way. But when on board, he's very, very formidable.
Right. We also have our final ban as well as our final pick coming in. We'll be seeing Eli Clark unfortunately be banned. Completely understandable though. Again, offers so much support to the team and to lengthen a lot of kites. And in his place, we will have the psychologist coming out.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised to see the psychologist come out kind of in lieu of our seer, And even if it's not rechargeable, psychologist can still take 3 hits. So obviously we have a lot of tanky survivors here. We've got Gardener who has a bubble that is not only rechargeable but stays for the first 50 seconds of the match. We've got Perfumer who can take 3 hits as long as she times her perfumes right. Wildling with the boar, and Psychologist who just takes 3 hits no matter what unless she uses her stress to heal somebody else. So yeah, a very, very formidable team here. Regardless of the hunter, though, I would not be too surprised if we happen to see a hunter that was not the opera singer here, just because, hey, okay. So I guess we are going to see another Hermit here from CH4. CH4 did play Hermit round 1 the other day, so not entirely unprecedented pick, but one that is very exciting to me and probably not to you, Bugs. But I'm a big Hermit fan, so I'll take the brunt of that one.
Completely understandable. As well as the fact that we don't really have a decoder on this team. While the Gardener does have a slight increased decoding speed, the Wildling does not, and actually has a decoding debuff. So this is going to be a little bit of a draw in the ciphers progress. So this is definitely going to be really interesting. They're going to have to kite for quite a long time to make up for the cipher progress.
Yeah, the biggest enemy of a hermit is not only a 4-man VC, but really, really strong containing survivors. Fusion is a team that is really heavy on that containment and on that harassment as well. So I feel like we're definitely going to see Wildling take a lot of the action here. Most ideally for Fusion in this situation is going to be Wildling taking a lot of the chase here, just because, as you said, he is the slowest decoder. There's a lot less that he can do against the hermit. But All right, yeah, we do have our Persona webs in here. We've got Perfumer on Broken Windows and Borrowed Time. Psychologist also has Broken Windows and Borrowed Time. We've got Wildling with Tide Turner and Borrowed Time, and Gardener not carrying Borrowed Time here does have Broken Windows as well as Tide Turner. So we are going with that double Tide as well here, which is definitely, I would say we're looking at an Opera Singer Persona web, but it's not bad against Hermit. I mean, all Tide Turner really does is waste time, and that's definitely important against a Hermit. When any second that you can spend on a Cypher without the Hermit coming to harass you off of it is a second that is spent productively. So with that double Tide, I'm really kind of hoping that comes in clutch.
Yeah, time is definitely on your side when it comes to a Hermit match.
Yeah, heading into the second half of round 1 here. Once again, I am Bones here with Bugs, watching CH4 on the Hunter side and Fusion on the Survivor side. And just to recap here, Fusion was able to get a 4-man elimination in the previous half, so CH4 needs to get a 4-man elimination in order to tie the round here. But we are going to set up that connection very early on. Looks like we have caught Wildling in that charge, and we will be heading right to the center of the map to try and either find a new target or just stop Wildling.
We're really seeing the Wildling get on his board in anticipation for a chase, but it seems like he's run into the Psychologist slightly, and we will be shifting chase to the Psychologist instead.
Yeah, Psychologist definitely not a bad first chase here. However, she does take that extra hit, so it does mean Hermit will have a little bit more trouble getting her down, especially with the distributed damage here. It does mean that she will be taking a chip damage on this first hit. So yeah, as you can see, that damage was distributed across all of the rest of the members of the team, which can be very, very good in the long run. It's a matter of whether the survivors can kind of manage this chip damage as well as just extend the kite as long as possible and hopefully, you know, get as much decoding done in the early stages of the match. We're going to actually switch up that connection here, looking to get even more distributed progress, get everybody on a charge here, and oh, is getting that second hit in on Psychologist.
We also saw the Perfumer anticipating the hit there, and perfuming. Very good utilization of it, especially since early on you kind of want to have as much people on the playing field that can take as much hits as possible. We'll also be seeing that the Hermit is running Teleport as a first trait. Not that he necessarily needs Blink or any other trait for that matter, but it's very interesting to see. It seems like we're going to be shifting chase to the Gardener.
Yeah, Gardener taking the chase here. Stunned out of that bubble, is going to take a very slight sliver of chip damage there, as is per Hermit damage. We're actually going to go ahead and use the teleport. It looks like we have spawned onto Perfumer here. Stunned out of that pallet, and that's the thing with the distributed damage here. It looks like we are getting a lot of damage on Wildling as well as Psychologist here. So really getting that kind of snowball potential here for late game. But Perfumer taking the kite into the graveyard here. She does have a blue charge. No, oh yeah, all the other survivors do have red charges, so unfortunately none of them will be able to tank this hit. And Perfumer at just a sliver away from going down here. And yeah, it's very safe to put the red charge on her just because she will be going down no matter what with that amount of damage. And yeah, it does unfortunately not allow for more distributed damage because all of the survivors were in communication there, swapped their charges at the last possible second, and are going to remain safe and sound for this rescue. So great communication there on the side of Fusion. First share here at 4 ciphers remaining. And looks like Wildling is gearing up to come in for that rescue.
Seems like we're gonna go for a base hit, trying to get the boar out just so we can have a safe rescue. He's here a little bit early just so that he can get it off without a hitch, especially since the Hermit is such camp potential. Unfortunately, we'll be seeing this Perfumer. And oh, doesn't go down! The Psychologist taking the brunt of the damage here. This is definitely a situation to be in.
Yeah, looks like Perfumer is going to be going down with this hit. Wildling taking a little bit extra damage there as well. I do believe that means Wildling can heal up to be a little bit safer in the long term. Gardner, unfortunately, is at that perfect amount of damage where she will go down in one hit, so she does need to be very, very careful about that. But Perfumer's still on second chair here. Definitely a lot more time to spend in this match. We've got 3 Cyphers remaining, and someone was sneaking around the back for a rescue there.
Yes, it's the Gardener. She's come to try and rescue, but like I said, the Hermit does have such strong camp ability, and not quite going down just yet. Seems that we're going to be resuming the chase on the Perfumer, and the Wildling will be taking the brunt of the damage for the Gardener. Unfortunately, we couldn't have anybody share the damage of the Perfumer, and she will be sent back to the manor shortly.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there that the delayed damage, or not the delayed damage, but the distributed damage does seem to be accumulating on these survivors. Hermit doing a really good job of managing that progress. Psychologist has gotten up. It looks like she has used her self-heal, so she can heal back up to full. But with Wanted Order, Hermit knows exactly where she is and can immediately switch the chase onto her. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Accidentally getting that stun a little bit wide here, looking for the teleport. Psychologist doing a great job of avoiding that. But we have 2 more seconds to that manual stun. We'll see if we're able to land it here. Ooh. Going a little bit wide again. Psychologist doing a great job of kiting the stuns here, keeping a great distance away from Hermit. Another stun, unfortunately, is going to land, and Psychologist will be going down, but we're at 1 Cypher remaining now.
It's a very intense situation if you're these survivors, especially since having the 4-man elimination in the previous half. You really want to try and push for as many out as you can, and this is a very, very tense setting to be in. Let's see the Wildling going on the board. He's probably going to go for a rescue here, especially since the Gardener Cypher is steadily coming along, dashing to the chair just to get a little bit more distance and get a little bit more time. Body blocking for the Psychologist, a beautiful body block.
Nicely done there. We are going to go for the blue charge here. Gardner not switching just yet. It looks like we are going to hold out, try to get as much progress on that Cypher as possible without allowing Hermit to start distributing that damage. But it does look like Wildling picking up a charge here. Gardner still hard at work on that Cypher. We'll see. Yeah, they do have another chair to go through here. Looks like that Cypher is at around 80%. Wildling back on the board just to waste time here. We're going to use a teleport. Stunned out of the teleport by Wildling. Wildling can now go for the rescue here. Cypher is not quite almost primed yet because of that Hermit distributed Cypher progress. But so impressive there.
We might be seeing the Wildling unable to make the rescue as well. Getting the rescue as well as the Cypher Pop!
Oh my god, what an incredible endgame here. Yeah, we are going to see Wildling dodging that stun by a hair. We're going to play around the tram here for just a moment. Tram going by without taking any targets with it. Wildling will go down here, but we still have 2 survivors up. I don't know if the gates are connected. No, are the gates connected yet?
I don't believe so. Well, the Psychologist has a charge, so I think they are connected.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Okay, they are connected here, so it is going to take a little bit longer for Psychologist to open this gate, but Wildling is only on first chair. Hermit going to commit entirely to the Psychologist, but as long as Fusion is able to get 1 escape here, they will be winning this first round. So it's going to be very, very close here just to see if these last 2 survivors can hold out long enough. Psychologist will be sent back to the manor on this chair, but it looks like Wildling has gotten to the opposite gate. Gardner heading towards the center of the map. That exit gate is at 56% now, but Hermit is fast approaching.
The Wildling get back on his board. Just to get a little bit more time for the Gardener to get to the gate and open it. The board will be taken out by the tension, as well as the Wildling, as the Gardener hadn't had time to... And we will be seeing a teleport to the other gate.
Teleport is up. Gardner stunned here. Not anywhere for her to move. She has not used self-heal yet, and neither has Wildling, so we will be going for the long game here. But it's a matter of if Wildling can use that self-heal on time and evade Hermit for long enough to really make that count. But just, wow. What a way to turn this back around.
It really was looking like it was in the survivor's favor, but now it seems that the hunter has the once again complete control over the playing field here.
Yup, and that really is kind of the way to play the Hermit. Really just keeping composure, not allowing, you know, a three-man survivor endgame to phase you. You just gotta continue being patient. Wildling going down here once again. That is going to be a 4-man elimination to tie us up. Just incredible gameplay there on both sides. That's definitely one for the highlight reel. That Wildling teleport cancel.
That was
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah, looking at the stats here, we've got 260% decoding progress from that Gardner, and quite a lot of decoding progress as well on the other survivors. But look at that Wildling with that 146-second containment. And despite all of that, you know, we still see the Hermit coming out on top. And that really is, you know, the exit gates being connected there to slow it down. Having teleport up at the end, also very, very good there. Just perfectly timed in order to make it to that gate, stop Gardner from moving, and secure that final elimination just by moments and moments and moments. You know, that really, a second's hesitation there would have broken it for the Hermit. But yeah, just wow. You know, there's not much else I can say. That was just an incredible match.
That was absolutely amazing from both the survivors and the hunter. I had mentioned it, but the perfumer, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, had been perfuming every single charged.
I did notice
chair.
that after it had already happened. I was like, oh, she's missing 2 perfumes. And she has no chip damage. Wait.
It really goes to show the kind of communication that this team had. Unfortunately, it hadn't given them a little bit of leverage, but it is a testament to just how well coordinated these teams are and how amazing, like, the perfumer's ability to almost every time instantly perfume the chip damage.
That's definitely just communication on point there. You know, just letting the perfumer know, I'm about to get hit, immediately going for that perfume. Just absolutely, you know, even with that communication, even with, you know, because that is the Hermit's greatest weakness, is really good survivor communication. But even with that, you know, the distributed damage was just too much there. And the fact that the gates were not able to get opened on time really, really put a pin in that sort of momentum that Fusion had built up. And that is, you know, that is kind of the strength of the Hermit as well. With those stuns, as long as you can keep the charges on the team, as long as you can keep the team on opposite charges as well, it really can make for kind of that end game control. The slowing down of those exit gates, not allowing the survivors to escape, you know, and not giving them any way out in order to get that escape that they needed.
I do wish that we got to see a little bit of the Gardener breaking chairs and harassing in that manner, but it was quite dangerous to do that against the Alva, so I'll understand for now. But it would be nice to see it, just because I do love a good Gardener struggle.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gardner breaking chairs is not quite something that we see that often, just because, you know, decoding. It really is decoding. And especially
against the Hermit. Yeah.
Yep, there's just no time to waste on those chairs. It is a little bit unfortunate. I do wish that Gardner's full kit was utilized, you know, a little bit more, but it is what it is. She does have a very strong kind of main kit as well as her sub item, but I don't know. I feel like maybe she should have a different item if the chair break isn't something that's, you know, viable. But I'm not a game dev. I just talk a lot.
Yeah, we're commentators. What do we know? My favorite saying.
Looks like we are getting a lakeside ban here for round 2, and that is going to be Red Church for our second map, which is a map that I am very excited to see here. It's a lot different, it's a lot different
Mhm.
from kind of, the maps that we have been seeing a lot of. We've been seeing a lot of Moonlight, we've been seeing a lot of Lakeside, we've been seeing a lot of Ever Sleeping, Chinatown, these maps that tend to be very open. And now we're going on to a map that is very, very closed, very, very walls.
Mhm.
And there's adjustments that have to be made in these situations to kind of, rework your strategy.
Yeah, especially since I would consider it a small map, and
It is a small map. I think it might be the smallest map if Arms Factory isn't smaller.
mhm, I do think that it's a very it's also a very flat map as well. There isn't a lot of inclines, so we might see a Mary, maybe. Might see a Dream Witch, might see uh, a Geisha. Could be anything. Uh, Definitely opens the door for a lot of other hunters that we might not see in other scenarios. We also have our global bans as well as our uh, current bans. Female Dancer will be taken out of the running as well as Antiquarian. And our global bans, just a reminder, a cheerleader as well as perfumer.
Yep. And for our first 2 picks here, we're going to lock in the Gardener as well as the Forward. Forward, I'm definitely intrigued to see. That does mean that they have a plan going here with that Forward. And it looks like we're also going to ban Geisha. So not really surprising here, especially considering that we are looking at Mushin as our hunter. Mushin,
Mhm.
very, very well known for that Geisha. But a little bit unfortunate to see her go. I would definitely anticipate her being banned in the next round as well, because we will be going to 3 rounds with this tie in round 1. And yeah, I'm sad to not see the Geisha, but I feel like if you are going against Mushin here, banning Geisha is kind of dinner, I suppose. It's what's on the plate.
Mhm.
But that does leave Opera Singer open. And it also leaves, a whole host of other hunters open. Dare I
Maybe Foog.
say fool's gold?
Maybe Foog the Toost.
What?
Foog the Toost.
I genuinely don't
Wolfsgold.
know what you just said.
It's Foog the Toost. It's Wolfsgold. Anyway, our third band will be coming through. We have, unfortunately, Michael Morton will not be seeing Red Church today, as well as our third pick, Psychologist coming back out again.
Yeah, psychologist here once again, definitely looking to act as that tank. Something that I actually overlooked here is that Gamekeeper's not bad on Church. We
That's
could
true.
definitely see a Gamekeeper
That's
coming out here
true.
again.
There's a lot of windows on that map. A lot of places that you could place the traps, as well as even though it's so like closed and contained, it really the hook does go over most of the terrain, so it's it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, Gamekeeper is really strong, especially in the center church here. So, because
Mhm.
all those pews, completely
Yep.
bypass the hook. So
Yep.
I'm very excited to kind of see, if we see that Gamekeeper, what could happen. But I would say this might be in preparation for a Gamekeeper pick. We are going to see the Novelist coming out here. Novelist has been one of, if not the most effective Gamekeeper counter in this, in this past competitive season. If you time the swap right, it cancels the hook completely.
Yeah, it's definitely almost in response to a gamekeeper pick. It's almost as if they're anticipating it. Uh, and our final ban will be Eli Clark again. Uh,
Unsurprising
that
here. Definitely
unsurprising.
not a
If
welcome face. Not a
if we're
welcome face
looking
from the hunter perspective.
if we're looking at a gamekeeper too, the owl can completely negate the effects of the hook and put it on cooldown too. So that's going to be definitely uh, a very good insight on mission side.
Yeah, I'm I'm intrigued to see who this hunter pick is going to be. I'm waiting with bated breath here because it really, we have options here. The only thing that's off the table is the Geisha. And Geisha, honestly, I mean, obviously there are ways to play her on Red Church. She can be very, very strong on Red Church, but there's also a lot of palettes in the way. So obviously it is Mushin Geisha. That is something to keep in mind here. Mushin Geisha is kind of viable on every map. But
Yeah, it doesn't matter
I'm
what map.
intrigued to see what we're going to get instead, because this does mean that we aren't getting the Geisha. It means we're getting anything else. And it is a valuable hunter ban. You only have one hunter ban to work with in round 2. So
Mhm.
that is, it's being put to good use here. But I'm scared. I'm scared.
No, I definitely feel it too, because now the Geisha's out of the running, it could be anybody. It could be something incredibly terrifying for these 4 little survivors here. Wolf's Gold, if you're out there.
But yeah, it does look like we are going to stick to our guns here and head for the Opera Singer, which I'm a little bit surprised that she was let out to play. Mushin Opera Singer, very, very formidable, especially on Red Church. Opera Singer, very fast, can traverse the entirety of the map in just a few moments.
Mhm.
She is a little bit vulnerable to the obvious Red Church pallet spam that can occur, but once that pallet spam is over, once the blink comes into play, she really, there's not much standing in her way on such a small map. So, obviously we do have Novelist, we do have Gardener, Psychologist as well, takes 3 hits forward, can come in for some pretty heavy support here. So, yeah, it really comes down to the survivor communication, and if they're, most teams do have Opera Singer strategies, especially nowadays that she is kind of the hard meta, and now that we can practice against her in Rake, now that the Shadow has kind of been added to that ban rotation. But I'm very, this is really, it's such an even matchup, and that's kind of how it is across the board. There's no real predictions to be made because, it really does come down to just the final moments of the match, as we just saw.
Right. And to me, it seems like they're going for harass heavy, because Opera Singer doesn't have as much Cypher pressure as the Gatekeeper would, as the Hermit would, as pretty much any other
Clerk as
hunter.
well.
Clerk, yeah. Even Mary has exquisite map presence. So, we might actually see the Gardener coming out with her toolbox. That's what it's called, as well as the
Maybe.
forward. Our spawn picks will be the Psychologist taking Shack, the Gardener taking a little bit away from Graveyard Ruins, Novelist in the middle, as well as the forward in Wedding area.
Yeah, I would anticipate here possibly Gardener first chase. Psychologist first chase is also a really good prospect. Both of them will take 3 hits right off the bat, but especially with Psychologist, there's a lot less for her to work with here. So yeah, once again, I am Bones, this is Bugs, and we're heading into the first half of round 2 here.
Oh.
And starting us off, we're going to head, looks like we are going to go for the Gardener here, just getting our dashes in play and heading into the graveyard area. Now, Gardener spawning in the center there was really smart, does allow her to transition very quickly into this graveyard area, and a beautiful pallet stun to start us off. Gardener not losing that bubble just yet. The hit did not register. Pallet stun went through first, and not quite able to get the second one though. Mushin prepared there, what just went straight through that pallet. Confident in the Opera Singer speed, and was able to land that first hit.
Ooh, narrowly missing a hit there at the window. We will be seeing Mushin taking another pallet hit, as well as confined space, just to add a little bit of getting terror shock on the Gardener. But the forward is standing right there menacingly.
Yup, forward in the area. Nicely done on that stun rescue. That was honestly a pretty good stun, pretty sizable stun there as well. Really allowing Gardner to get out of the area. Once again, no, nicely
Flywheel.
done with the flywheel. Unfortunately, Blink was not quite in play just yet. Gardner is going to go down to that Blink hit, and it does not look like forward is close enough for the harass, so we will be seeing our first chair. But a lot of valuable time wasted on that kind of second down here. We are going to see that first Cypher pop. I would say a second one is very close on the way. A little bit unfortunate, though, that forward has been harassing, though. That does mean, you know, not only is Opera at full presence, but that's a lot less decoding on the Survivor side. So they are going to have to make up for that in the later stages of the match.
A beautiful hit on the forward there. Going for a double down, it seems, but the forward is just running away. The Gardner might have some time to lose the trail of the Opera Singer. On the topic of the forward, unfortunately harassing to slow down the Cypher progress, there was no Cypher in Wedding Gate, so he did have to transition to the middle area to get his Cypher. So that probably also set them back a little bit. Oh, what a pallet stun!
Yeah, nicely done there from Gardner, just looking to extend this kite as long as possible. 3 Cyphers remaining here. We're going to double back and get that down. Very nicely done. That is kind of the danger of tight kiting an Opera Singer, or trying to loop an Opera Singer, especially without the pallet there to support. It was very risky kind of circling back around to that area, and yeah, we are going to see Gardner's second share here. No survivors are left with Tide Turner, but it does look like forward is getting healed up there, possibly to come in for another rescue. But we are in pretty close to the center of the map, heading back towards the chair now. It does look like we are heading in for the rescue from Novelist here.
Getting an early hit on the Novelist. He can no longer body block, but he might try to.
Ooh.
Getting blackjacked by the poor little Gardener, summoning her bubble. And we do have Flywheel to work with here.
Oh! That was a very smart maneuver there. Vaulting that window in order to lock it off, not allow Gardner to really use it for containment, but Gardner just getting caught in that corner here is going to go down. We do have a double down here. It looks like we may actually double back here, go ahead and share Novelist first. Yeah, really looking to kind of get that pressure on these survivors, which I'm very conscious of the Cypher progress here. We do have Tinnitus. It looks like that is from, I believe that was Psychologist in the middle there. And yeah, forward not able to harass. Yeah, he doesn't have enough ball to make any harassment here. Psychologist is going for that rescue though, but that does leave forward alone on the final Cypher.
We'll be seeing a shift in focus to the forward, the final Cypher, forcing them to start another. We do have Blink online. And remember, Mushin does have confined space, so we won't be seeing a trait switch here. Looking for a really aggressive build, it seems. Getting a hit on the forward and dropping as many pallets as we can to get as much distance as we can away. Expending the rest of his ball there just to transition into the church. Psychologist will be spotted out and taking another hit. Cypher is at 66% though.
Yup, Mushin playing the map control game here, really trying to just chip these survivors down. We're going to head back to that Cypher. We're looking at 75, probably 80% by now. Psychologist having to move away, but there's still pallets in this area to utilize. So using those just to break a little bit more distance here. We're going to go ahead with the dash, trying to catch up to Psychologist. Unfortunately, not going to quite be able to. And we are going to be able to double back, though. Not quite able to catch Psychologist off yet, though, but right through the pallet there. We are going to see that Opera Singer hitbox come through. And final Cypher is at 90%, but that's not quite going to be enough to save the Psychologist before she is chaired here.
We'll be seeing forward coming in for a rescue. And getting a terror shot, but not quite valuable yet, just as the Cypher's Prime. The forward will be going down again. Again, he does not have... he does have self heal at this time, so we will be seeing the psychologist taking a blink hit. Beautiful blink.
Yeah, I think the one unfortunate thing here is that we aren't working with trump card. We do have confined space as well as detention, so can't switch to teleport here, which is why that blink was used so late in the game. Doubling back to forward though, I have a feeling Novelist has that exit gate open, so we will be seeing at least one escape here. Dungeon, not on this side of the map though. Forward does need to just keep this containment going. Unfortunately, going to get terror shocked on that vault, and with that self-heal expended, that is going to be a 3-man elimination, but a 1-man escape here for CH4.
Yeah, just Mission really proving me my statement wrong that Opera does indeed have the cipher pressure that other hunters would have. Looking at the stats here, we have 3 pallet strikes from the gardener, 3 rescues from the forward, and a good 259 decoding progress from the psychologist.
Yeah, that cipher distribution is just crazy there. And definitely, that definitely does explain the kind of slowness in the early match there when you only have 2 people decoding. But with the long containments here, especially with that 95-second containment from the gardener, really, really set up CH4 survivors for success, kind of, well, I would say relative success. The thing with
Mhm.
tournament is that even a loss is still a win as long as it is not a 4-man escape or a 4-man elimination against your team. I mean, obviously that's a win for the other team, but if CH4 can now get a 4-man elimination, then they will win the round despite losing on their survivor side, which is the fun part about tournament, at least for me, is that, you can never really determine the trajectory of a round. And we've seen, our round 1 was a double 4-man elimination. So, getting that one escape here is really, really valuable for CH4 kind of in the long term. But that is going to be, that's going to be 1 point here to CH4, 3 points to Fusion in this round 2.
Yep. I do want to quickly highlight the 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 sheer like not audacity, but willpower that the gardener had just to get almost every single pallet stun on Mushin there. It was uh it's quite difficult to pallet stun an opera singer, so given how fast she is, so I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, it's definitely really hard to kind of nail that timing on
Yeah,
the palette because not only do you have the opera singer, she's not a very large hunter. She doesn't have a very large palette
yeah,
hitbox, but also her hitbox itself is so fast that you very commonly see her get hits through pallets. We did see that,
yeah.
but being able to get those stuns in the first place is just very, very strong. So yeah, kudos to that. Heading into the second half of round 2, though, we are going to see CH4 on the hunter side and Fusion on the survivor side, and we will be returning to those global bans, which are Perfumer and Gardener. So we will not be seeing a repeat of the Gardener action this round or this half.
Unfortunate, but someone has to go, you know? What kind of setup do you think they're gonna go for? You think they're gonna go for another opera singer centered team, or do you think they're
I
gonna ban
would
out the opera
say
singer? Or
we haven't seen an opera singer here from Ling.
mm,
That could definitely be a wild card, but I would say Fusion will likely be preparing more. I would say Hermit ban here, not a bad idea. Definitely not a bad idea, especially because Hermit has such strong 4K potential. Or they could, ban. I would say the 3 hunters that we're really going to be looking at here, or at least, that I'm going to be looking for here, are going to be Bloody Queen, Axe Boy, and Hermit. So you can ban one of those on the survivor side, but counter comping the other 2 is where the challenge comes in. But we are going to see pretty, very secretive hunter bands or survivor bands here for the first 2 picks. We are going to see Seer and Antiquarian taken off the table, which doesn't really tell us who the hunter is because those are pretty universal survivor bans. You do
Yeah,
not want
those
to
are
see an
standard.
antiquarian,
Those are some
especially
standard
on church
things.
too.
Yeah, there's so much that she can knock you into. I personally do want to see the Axe Boy for myself. So I'm hoping for an Axe Boy, but I will accept pretty much any hunter that we haven't seen much of yet.
Yeah, Bloody
But
Queen would be really exciting, I'll say.
yeah, especially since there's so much that you can do with Mary. Like you can do mirror hits, you can do cypher pressure, you can patrol while survivors are chaired.
Mhm.
She really does have that leniency that is really well, my play style is to patrol the chair. I don't like camping. I don't like staying in one place at a time. It bothers me. So she's kind of like Schrodinger's camper in a way
Oh,
because she's there and she's not there with the mirror. We will be seeing our first two picks come in, female dancer as well as my baby Emil.
yeah, Patient here is gonna be very, very fun to see. I'm a little bit sad at the lack of Aeroplanus that we haven't been seeing lately.
Yeah.
But Patient always a very good choice, especially, with the versatility that you can get out of Patient. There's a lot of stuff kind of similarly to Antiquarian, how there's a lot of stuff to kind of use her stick and knock the hunter into. There's a lot of things to hook across. And Dancer as well. Red Church is a map that is very, very good for tight kiting, and as we saw, very good with pallets. So Dancer being able to set up areas of boxes here, both to support herself and for teammate kites, very, very valuable asset. I will say, I feel like with the opera singer ban, that leaves all of the options I was talking about on the table. So that I feel like that might be a little risky here.
Yeah. It's definitely a little bit of a risk. They might pull out a hermit if especially since the ciphers are so close together on this map, given how small it is. Uh, but I feel like the female dancer is anticipation for that, given that she's kind of a decoder,
She's
as well
definitely a
as she
decoder, but
has
she's not a very strong kiter against Hermit because she does kind
yeah,
of stay very close. She's very
her
vulnerable to
mobility
those stuns.
her mobility is not that good against it. Uh, so I'm looking forward to see how she's utilized. Um, in the case of an axe boy, um, she might not be as strong, given that she when she twirls out of her box, the slow will still affect her. So yeah, she has the distance, but again, the slow at full presence? No, first presence. First presence?
For Axeboy,
Yeah, for axe boy.
the slowing down out of the tree radius is
Oh,
oh, hello. I was missing you just a few moments ago, but that is going to be an Aeroplanist as our third pick here with an Acrobat band. So really looking for these survivors that can kind of break distance. There's been no Hermit counters, but there's also been no Hermit counter. There's been no Hermit counter bans, but there's also been no Hermit counter picks. So I feel like if a Hermit is on the table here, it's going to be something that is very secretive just to kind of keep that under wraps.
mhm.
But once again, I feel like we are kind of preparing for the Axe Boy and the Bloody Queen here. Not really. I mean, taking the Hermit into consideration, but not taking anything very, very specific to the hermit into consideration just because
Yeah.
there is always the risk of another hunter coming out. You can't guarantee a hermit, and hermit has such specific counters that you can kind of ruin your own chances by leading very hard into counter comping the hermit and then getting something that doesn't work in that context. So we are going to see mercenary for our final selection here. So, yeah, that is going to be one rescuer off the table. But in his place, we are going to see the Gravekeeper. So, I would say, if anything, that's going to be our biggest kind of. We might see a hermit or maybe a
Mhm.
disciple. We could see a disciple as well. That is kind of Gravekeeper safeguarding against the hunters that place stuns, and then you can go into the shovel to cancel those stuns. So Gravekeeper is a very strong counter to those. Gravekeeper also counters Gamekeeper if we were to see a Gamekeeper here. So a very strong pick from Fusion to round us off on that lineup.
Yeah, definitely a very mobile team. I don't quite know what they're like building for. I wish I could get into their mind and understand what kind of hunter they're anticipating here. Because
I would say we're definitely looking for that Axe Boy, or we're looking for the Axe Boy or the Bloody Queen here. I mean, definitely could go up against the Hermit, but there's nothing like apart from Gravekeeper. None of these survivors, like, we don't have a barmaid. There's no barmaid, no enchantress. So there's nothing like tailor made here, but it's still a very, very strong team comp. The focus of this team, which is kind of a focus of Fusion survivors, is long containment time, is not really harassment so much with this comp, but you can come in for a lot of body blocks here. You can kind of stay mobile. Patient and Aeroplanist both have a lot of mobility on Red Church, and a lot more mobility than the Hunter, just because they can bypass a lot of the walls. Aeroplanist, especially with the hover, can be really, really well utilized on Church. So I'm very excited to see if that hover is able to come through, and kind of just, there's a lot of really good places to use hover. One of my favorites is out of reception, kind of into the graveyard. You can just transition straight over. So I'm very excited to see if that's going to be our case here. But all right, it looks like we are going to be gearing up for another Hermit match. I'm very surprised that they allowed Hermit to come out again, especially after, it was a 4-man elimination kind of by a sliver. I would say Fusion's strategy here is to kind of, push it past that sliver, make it a little bit more, give more pressure towards that end game, kind of learning from their mistakes of the previous match. But it's bold. It's very bold here, especially when they do need one escape to tie.
Right. And this is definitely going to be interesting because Hermit, as you said, kind of puts a stop to the mobility that these survivors have in so many ways. Like the dancer isn't as strong. The patient can just if he doesn't go over a wall, he'll probably get stunned. And even the Aeroplanist is a little bit staggered by the stuns. It's definitely going to be really interesting. The only one that actually does counter, like you said, is the Gravekeeper. So this is going to be a very tense matchup.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this because, again, we did just see Ling's Hermit get a 4-man elimination. So, that is kind of like what's on the table here. We did just see that happen. So, if he's able to do it again, I mean, Church is it's not a bad map for Hermit at all, especially with those stuns, with kind of the size of the map as well, making it much easier to manage. I would definitely expect here for Hermit to be bringing that Insolence, Detention, and Teleport again, just because that is very standard for a Hermit. Even without the blink, having the Insolence come in early on, it can be very, very helpful for a Hermit's trajectory. He is a little bit of a sitting duck without that ball teleport. It gives him a lot more mobility. He's very, very slow. So getting that as soon as possible, I would definitely expect here. And yeah, it looks like we are going to go for a similar plus formation. We'll see where Ling chooses to spawn. Okay, it looks like we are going to go ahead and close out that plus sign. We're going to have Dancer in the center, flanked by both Patient and Aeroplanist, and we're going to have Gravekeeper spawning very, very far away over in the shack. Dancer first chase here is definitely not going to be bad, especially in the Church. I do believe that Hermit can stun over the pews as well, kind of a little bit like Gamekeeper. So yeah, we'll really just have to see, how this turns out. But once again, I am Bones, this is Bugs. We're heading into the second half of round 2. Fusion needs one escape to tie this round. 4-man elimination is going to mean CH4 wins. Any other result, Fusion will take the round. But good luck to both teams, and we're gonna head right into things.
Yep. just like you anticipated, it seems that we're going for a chase on the Dancer. Not quite spotting her out. She is rotating away to the shack area. Going behind it, and it seems that we're going to be chasing the Gravekeeper here.
Gravekeeper, definitely an interesting choice. We are going to see immediately that shovel will be used, but no, we're actually going to bait out the shovel here, force Gravekeeper to use it early on. Kind of a first officer strategy here. That's very, very smart here from Hermit. We're heading over into the graveyard now, heading up on Patient if we're able to spot where he's hiding, but it looks like we've actually gone completely past him. So very nicely done on that rotation there from the Patient. And yeah, it looks like Hermit just completely losing sight of these survivors. Teleport is up though, and we are going to see that come through right back onto the Dancer, it seems.
Yeah, we do have a slow box in play. Definitely looking to almost, it was like she was anticipating the Hermit teleporting to her here. Transitioning back to the shack just to get a little bit more distance, but no, it seems that we're going back to this little windowed area here.
Yeah, and we are going to see Hermit does have a very good over window hitbox, and that's exactly what's going to come through there. Using the teleport, but actually coming up a little bit short, and a miscalculation on the Dancer's part, taking that vault once again. Definitely expecting that teleport to go into the church. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, and we will get a second hit in there. Dancer is now one hit down if that damage is not shared. So it looks like we are going to look for the blue charge, trying to hope that the other survivors don't switch to it in order to get this down as soon as possible.
Yeah, and the basement is in play as well. We probably won't see it utilized, as the Gravekeeper does have pretty reputable rescues against the basement. Dancer twirling back grateful. Seems the airplane is in the area as well. And oh, getting that down.
Yeah, nicely done on that down. Survivors are all on the same charge here. It is going to be a little bit tricky to sort of avoid getting kind of that snowball damage, but a lot of really, really good Cypher progress. The amount of time it took for Hermit to find a target there was so valuable. We're nearly at 2 Cyphers remaining here. This Cypher rush is just incredible. And yep, that is going to be 2 Cyphers remaining. And Gravekeeper coming in for the rescue, but this share is going pretty slowly. Oh!
Ooh.
Nicely done with
Wonderful.
that drop down from the
Yeah.
Gravekeeper.
Positioning away from the chair just so that we couldn't get the no attack recovery. The Dancer unfortunately will be missing her flywheel and transitioning away from the Cypher so that the airplanist can decode a little bit more peacefully. It seems that he will be coming in for the second rescue, however, he does have Tide Turner.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there that we weren't able to land any of those stuns. I do think that the strategy there was to try and get a red charge on the Dancer, go for a hit on Tide Turner to try and distribute some of that damage among the rest of the survivors. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. It does look like Aeroplan is coming in for this rescue. Also, well, both Aeroplanist and Gravekeeper are on the same charge here, so Aeroplanist will be taking much less damage. Waiting as long as possible, going to go just straight for that rescue, not wanting to let Link pressure the chair any longer. Unfortunately, Body Block not able to go through. We are at 1 Cypher remaining though, and we do have Tide Turner. Cypher's at around 90% here, but I don't think they're going to be able to pop it in time. Unless, oh no, they're actually going to go for the pop, but Ling landing a stun right as that Cypher pops. And that is going to be Dancer down, but 3-man endgame here. And I don't have, yeah, I think the gates may have been connected there. But regardless, we are going to switch on to Aeroplanist here. Aeroplanist does still have full jetpack. Nicely done with that hover.
Unfortunately, he will be taking a hit, and the shared damage saves him. Dungeon is in play. We will be seeing a teleport going to the front gate, and Emil utilizing a hook just to get a little bit more distance, as well as the Gravekeeper making a mad dash to the back gate.
Yup, that is going to be Patient taking this chase. Dungeon, thankfully not here. It is honestly on, or it is actually on the other side of the map, so we aren't going to be possibly aren't going to be seeing a dungeon escape from the patient unless he's able to kite all the way across the map. Going for a little bit of a sneak maneuver, going to go for the flywheel. Unfortunately, the stun will land here, but yes, that did buy enough time for that exit gate to be open. That is a draw here from Fusion Survivors, and that will take the round for them. And what a way to bring that back around, really showing, we're learning from the previous match, not going to go into it with the same strategy. And yeah, that really paid off. That rotation in the early game was so
was
impressive.
phenomenal. It really was. The fact that the patient was able to hide almost seamlessly from the hermit there was it paid off. He got to use all of his hooks in the end there, and it definitely benefited them to have all of those hooks online just to get so much time for the back gate to be opened. It was really beneficial that he didn't take the first kite.
Yeah, I think as well, something that did kind of, the connected exit gates kind of work both ways. On one
Mhm.
hand, you do have kind of the slowdown if the survivors are only decoding one gate. However, once they reach the opposite side, there's already progress on that exit gate. So I think that that may have really contributed to how fast those survivors were able to get that gate open. On the other side of the map, just really, really nicely done there from Fusion Survivors. Never really allowing kind of the control of the hermit to take over, which is that's what happened in the first round. They allowed for that snowball damage to go through. They weren't anticipating the teleport towards the end game, but this time they absolutely were. They were anticipating not only were they anticipating the teleport, but as you were saying, Patience still had hooks. The
Mhm.
survivors still had almost all of their resources in that end game because Dancer had spent so long in the containment, but also because they had rotated so well, Hermit was unable to find a target for, I would say, pretty much the first minute or so of the match.
It also bought a lot of
Possibly
time
more
for
than that.
it bought a lot of time for the ciphers to be done as well. Um, uh, Getting the dancers cipher, it was the second to last cipher. It had a lot of progress by the time she had left it. So the airplanist was able to kind of swoop in and finish it off. And the pop was a little bit crusty, but it worked out in the end. So I can't really judge it all that much.
Yeah, I would say in that situation, the pop was
It's
really just needing to go,
yeah,
as fast as
it was
possible,
do or
get to the
die.
gate, get it open. Because as long as they got a draw,
Yeah.
as long as they got a one-man escape, it would have been a tie for the round again. As long as they got a draw, they were able to win the round. But that
Mhm.
really, it really does cement, a lead for Fusion because in this next round, even if just by a very, very small margin, um, in this next round, if they're able to secure a tie once again, that's still going to mean the win for Fusion because they will have the lead in points. So,
Mhm.
looking at round 3 here, CH4 definitely needs to not only win this round, but win by a large margin here because that is going to be how they're going to win.
Yep. We will be seeing Moonlit Band. Uh, Not gonna lie, completely understandable, especially in these late stages. It's kind of a detriment to most hunters that can't work with distance. But not to Gamekeeper though.
Yeah, definitely. Not surprised to see that Moonlit ban. It is it's a favorite tournament map, but mostly for survivors, I would say. So I'm definitely, I'm not too surprised that it's been banned, especially since we have been looking at pretty hunter focused matchups.
Mhm.
But we will be seeing Arms Factory instead. So kind of the polar opposite of a map there. Once again, we are working very, very small, very, very contained. Arms Factory is still very good for a lot of hunters and also very good for the gamekeeper, who I would really expect to see here once again.
Yep. Uh, I'm still holding out for my Mary. I
I
hope
mean,
she comes
she's
out.
definitely very strong on Arms Factory, so
Yeah,
I would
given
not
how,
doubt it.
like I said, given how flat it is, she's really, really good against a lot of matchups on the this map. Uh, I don't know. It could be anybody's game. It could be Gamekeeper, unless they ban him, of course. But
I would say Gamekeeper ban's probably in order just because Arms Factory's always been really good for Gamekeeper. It
yeah,
is, kind of Vault Terror Shock City.
yeah,
It's very not only Vault Terror Shock, but also you can't see the traps 90% of the time. There's so many walls, there's so many pallets on Arms
right.
Factory that if a trap is placed in a kiting area, you're not gonna see it until you're already in it, and then Gamekeeper is right behind you. So I would anticipate a Gamekeeper ban. I would be a little bit surprised if we don't see at least one Gamekeeper ban coming into this round. But getting into the ban picks here, we're going to have our first two bans coming through. Once again, we're seeing that Seer and Antiquarian ban from CH4. For Hunter bans this round, I would definitely say, we do have two Hunter bans to work with. I feel like Hermit should maybe not be on the table unless, you know, they did kind of take the Hermit off the table in the previous match, Fusion Survivors. So, yeah,
Mm.
actually, it looks like we are going to see the Gamekeeper as well as Opera Singer banned. So that leaves both Axeboy and Bloody Queen on the table here.
Yep, and we will also be seeing just a reminder of the global bands we have: Perfumer, Gardener, Patient, Woo, and Dancer, as well as the match bands, Seer and Antiquarian, which gives us no information of who it could possibly be.
Yeah, it's still working with these very, very standard bands. But, standard bands are standard for a reason. You do not want to see either of these survivors. But in their place, we are going to see the psychologist as well as the acrobat. So, acrobat, I would say, obviously it's not Moonlit, but acrobat is a very, very strong character on Arms Factory. There's a lot of areas for him to use his bombs. The bombs in the factory in particular can be so useful for a kite. And really just, the fact that there are so many wells and there are so many kind of pallets, vault points on this map, it's very much a playground for an acrobat, so I'm excited to see him coming out here.
Yep, especially against the gamekeeper, acrobat would have been a little. He would have had a lot less fun, given that he'd still end up in the traps if he vaulted, if he bombed over a window or something. So the gamekeeper ban is definitely in order at that point. Our final ban will be coordinator, and as well as the aeroplanist. Again, not really giving us info, but completely understandable. Uh, our picks will be mercenary as well as Norton. Not quite seeing him as fool's gold yet, but we will have his survivor version. Hopefully that suffices for Mima.
Yeah, a prospector here is definitely something that not only have we seen plenty and plenty of times from Fusion, but prospector on Arms Factory is very, very formidable. There's a lot of walls to stun into. There's a lot of tight areas that you can kind of go either way with the stun. You can push the hunter back. You can pull the hunter forward. You can pull the
Mhm.
hunter back several feet into another wall, and go for the long stun. There's a lot of versatile harassment here from prospector. I do enjoy when Prospector comes out here from Fusion because it does mean, they're locking in, they're here for business. That Prospector
Mhm.
is so, so aggressive on Fusion. It's just very fun to see. But the moment we've all been waiting for, Axeboy is coming out to play. Let's just hope
Yippee!
that these survivors came prepared for that because this is going to be a very, very high intensity match. CH4 needs to get as many points as possible in this first round to set them up for success in the second half of round 3. So, yeah, we're really, really kind of getting into the final stage of the final stage here.
Yep. And they do have a really beefy team for Axeboy too, like psychologist. Not necessarily mercenary, as he can, you know, if he gets hit, it's kind of over by the souls. But
Well, he
Um,
does still have the advantage of that delayed damage. Soul hits
that's
don't
true.
deal chip damage, so he's not going to get kind of stranded out with the chip damage as he would with like a gamekeeper, possibly a hermit as well.
Mhm.
He's definitely, I would say he's still vulnerable, definitely, because he can't come in for a rescue at, half health just because of that double hit potential. But he can still take 2 hits and go for the rescue.
Yep. As well as the acrobat, his distance that he gets from the bombs and his little, I was gonna call it something else. His little roll is definitely gonna be beneficial against the Robbie. Uh, mm, the Norton, he can stun Robbie on his trees, can't he?
Yep. Any solid object is fair
Mm,
game for a stun, including other survivors.
yep. That I remember. That I remember.
Yep.
Which is really funny considering you're just like weaponizing your own teammates at that point.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like I mean, I've seen in Call of the Abyss, there's teams that have kind of positioned themselves in order to pull off prospector stuns against other survivors. I mean,
Yeah.
if Fusion's able to pull something like that off, I would be definitely surprised. It's a very risky maneuver, but high risk, high reward there, so to speak. But really, just the amount of different plays that we could really be seeing here from these survivors against such a strong Axe Boy, it's going to be very, very tight heading into this match.
Yeah, definitely. Um, we will be seeing the acrobat with flywheel as well as the prospector taking flywheel as well. Um, we're going for a one tied team, which is against Axploit. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I feel like
Uh,
the flywheels here are going to be a lot more kind
and with the
of
psych on the playing field,
important.
yeah, with the psych on the playing field too. I think I could see it happening. So it's gonna be definitely a really interesting match, and I'm very happy to see Robbie finally from my own eyes. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm
I think we've really only seen him once before, which was in the last CH4 match. So a bit of a specialized team pick here, but one that is so, so welcome. Looks like we are going to be kind of clustering in this bottom corner here. We've got Acrobat in the factory, Prospector right outside of it, Mercenary in the center of the map, and we're going to have Psychologist spawning up at the shack. But heading into the first half of round 3. Once again, I am Bones here with Bugs, and very good luck to both teams.
Yep, good luck, guys. It seems we're gonna be spawning like a water tank, so this is definitely really good for the Robbie since he's so close to the factory. I wasn't quite able to catch a glimpse of basements here, but that'll be really unfortunate. Seems we're gonna be having a chase on the acrobat here, really dedicating his time to it as well. The basement is heater, so
Yeah, but we are going to see that first interaction bomb dropped here. Definitely not quite slowing down Axeboy as much as Acrobat would have hoped. Axeboy did take the long route around to avoid getting slowed down out that window. We're going to see the soul go through, but not quite hitting. The heavy hit, however, is going to go through. Nicely done there for our first hit. Flywheel also no longer in action, so that does mean, or actually no, I think it is coming up at, yep, okay, Flywheel is online, and that will definitely be an asset here for Acrobat to continue this kite, if he's able to Flywheel the soul hit.
yep. We will be seeing a slow bomb coming out. Really gonna be beneficial against the blink here.
Ooh!
Ooh, absolutely. Just barely missing the acrobat with the soul there. But not really needing the blink after all, it seems.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised here that Acrobat didn't Flywheel that. I would say we're definitely saving that Flywheel for the soul hit later on. But, of course, that is going to be our first chair. But heading a little bit out here, trying to pressure, it looks like Prospector off of that Cypher. Does allow Merc to go in for a no damage rescue though. We are going to get the hit in immediately on Acrobat though, with no bombs left to utilize. And that we will be seeing second chair once that Tide Turner is up, missing a soul hit there, trying to build up a little bit more presence. And heading into the corner here just to make Axeboy's life even harder, make him go the long route to the chair.
Yep. Again, with that restful road, though, he can just kind of zoom to the chair anyway, so it's not really even not even throwing a wrench in his plans. Foxdexter seems to be breaking the tree over here. Might be coming in for a rescue, or the mercenary will actually.
Yep, Mercenary coming in from behind, missing the soul hit there by just a moment. Prospector in for support here as well, just waiting on that stun, waiting. Is it going to go through? Yes, we're going to get a short stun there and a nice stun, but oh, not quite making that one. Prospector needing to flywheel away from that. Axeboy, blink predict!
What a blink predict!
Wow.
Locking off the Robbie's abilities for just a moment here. Norton's also going to be put on support duty while these last two ciphers are being worked on. Narrowly missing the Acrobat there.
Just absolutely incredible kite here. We're at one cipher remaining. It is at around 20% here, but Prospector into support. This is exactly what I want to see. Beautifully done on that pallet stun. Unfortunately, Prospector is going to take a hit in the process, but that doesn't matter as long as he's able to stay in the area. But with the soul snipe coming through, Acrobat is going to go down. Prospector not quite yet with a magnet. We have one magnet to use here for this rescue, but Acrobat's going to be dropped out of it.
Beautiful play, absolutely beautiful play from the hunter, from the Acrobat, from the Prospector. Everything just came into play there, and unfortunately we will be seeing the Acrobat going back to the manor, but the Mercenary is hard at work on the last cipher as well as the Prospector. And
nicely done on that soul.
What a
yeah,
snipe!
Once those snipes really get locked in here, you know, there is just no avoiding the Mercenary downed in the corner here. The other survivors are not quite in the area to continue progress on the cipher. We do have Psychologist at full health, though. She can definitely come for this rescue. Does look like Prospector's hard at work on the cipher here. But Psychologist is quite a ways away from the chair, so it is going to take her a minute to get there. And I do think Axeboy might be aware of that second cipher being primed.
Yeah, we definitely, probably about 80% by the time I finish the sentence, going to change targets to the Prospector. Getting a snipe! What a beautiful snipe from the Robbie there. The Psychologist is still on her way to the Mercenary. I don't think she's going to get him before half, actually.
Yup, she's going to get there right after half. Prospector chaired in the basement here. Just incredible control from the Axeboy in this situation. We're going to see Mercenary heading back on the cipher. Psychologist coming towards the chair, looking for a rescue, but Axeboy is just going to switch targets completely, heading straight for that Mercenary. Not quite able to get another soul hit. Beautifully done on that elbow pad just to avoid the hit a moment longer. We got two left here. Just going to try and break as much distance as possible. The Psychologist needs to get that rescue as soon as she can in order to keep this match alive. Yes, we are going to get that rescue, but these survivors need to return to the cipher and keep up that progress. Oh, but hitting through the pallet there!
This is very intense. This is exactly what I wanted to see. We will be seeing the Mercenary going back to the manor, unfortunately, but we still have two survivors on the playing field, as well as two ciphers primed.
Yup, working at the last moments on those ciphers, but we are going to be able to go ahead and pop them before Axeboy can catch up. Two survivors at the end game here does mean that we could be looking at a one-man escape, but obviously with detention in play, as well as it looks like we are going to come up on teleport here. So that is going to be teleport coming up, so we can definitely pressure the gates here as long as we're able to get Psychologist down quickly. Now, she can still take a soul hit, but with detention in play, you know, she will be going down straight away. It's just a matter of how long she can contain. This area is very, very strong, though, so she definitely has a lot to work with here. Prospector opening the gate. Yeah, that gate's about halfway through here. Psychologist just locking in on this loop.
Ooh, getting the psychologist down. If the Robbie does not share her here, it would have been very, very dangerous situation. But it seems that we're going to go for a chair, and we will be taking the one-person escape.
Yeah, I just wow. The way that this went from probably a draw situation down to a one-man escape is just
Amazing.
again, we're seeing that control. We're seeing that focus. You know, it's never over until the last person has either blasted off or exited out the gate. And that is exactly, you know, how Ling is just handling this so nicely.
Right.
It's just incredible to see, you know, that focus, that pressure, and just really, you know, kind of stringing these survivors out one by one.
Yeah, and definitely, uh, again, we're proven that if you have the support, if you have the communication, it doesn't mean that you're going to win. It's absolutely amazing that the Robbie was able to maneuver in such a way that he was able to still remain in control at every moment, almost every single moment there was. He was able to control the map, and even the survivors' health. Like it was really amazing.
Yeah, and it really does, you know, kind of speak to being able to exploit, you know, the communication of these survivors, being able to kind of force them off their game, even when, you know, they are in that four-man VC. They
Hmm.
are, you know, really just locking in, looking to perform, but being able to kind of disrupt that communication, being able to force them out of where they want to be. Because that is, you know, that's kind of the name of the game, is being in the right place at the right time. Prospector was very much in the right place at the right time, being able to support that acrobat kite. Unfortunately, just not quite long enough. I feel like if Prospector had been able to body block just a moment longer, I think that would have been a very different end game. But at matter of fact, that was not the case, and Ling was just able to take advantage of that, and that's exactly, you know, that's what CH4 needed to do here. With that
Hmm.
one-man escape, though, it does mean that if Fusion is able to get a four-man elimination, they will win the round and therefore, you know, be our champion. If they also get a three-man elimination, that will tie this round, but Fusion will still be up on the points from the previous round, so we will still be seeing Fusion win. And then it will come down to the points from there, I believe, if CH4 manages to take the victory this round.
Definitely going to be a very, very tense matchup. Um, I I don't think there's been a moment like a single dull moment this entire matchup. Like this has been absolutely amazing gameplay from the hunters, amazing gameplay from the survivors. This it has been nonstop from start to finish, and it to see it possibly even come to a close very soon is so bittersweet in a way.
Oh, yeah.
It's very. I'm definitely I'm on the edge of my seat. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna get more intense in the second half of the round. But for our bans, we're going to see Dancer ban as well as Antiquarian. Not wanting to see either of those come out here. Both very strong. But we are going to see the Acrobat as well as Embalmer. Now, Embalmer, a very common pick when a team needs as many escapes as possible. He does increase the likelihood of a tie by quite a bit here, just by virtue of having that coffin. He allows for survivors not to have to come into rescue. He makes it, you know, so that he can rescue himself, he can rescue other teammates, teleport them to the gate during endgame if there's still a coffin on hand. Just
Even
a
Dungeon,
very versatile member of the team.
even the hatch. Like he can immediately put them at the hatch in game, and that's definitely going to be a strong point. I just wanted to point this out because I think it's cute, but Aesop and Mike are in sync right now, and it's really cute to me.
Oh wow, they are. But we are going to see that Prospector coming back for another round here. Very obviously, still very exciting to see the harassment potential coming there. We're going to see psychologists as well as aeroplanist get banned, though. So that does leave us pretty open for our fourth survivor if they want to lock in a rescue, if they maybe want to lock in something a little bit more daring. But yeah, we'll really, it really comes down to this last pick here to how we're going to round out our team. Looks like that is going to be our rescuer in the first officer. It's a little bit interesting, though. I would be a little bit suspicious almost of the fact that there have been no rescuers banned so far. Means that obviously Fusion is not afraid of that mercenary, of that first officer coming out here. So yeah, it really comes down to, what is this hunter pick going to be? What is going to be, what could be the final match of
Gold?
logging off league tournament?
Fool's Gold?
Wouldn't speak. I'm not gonna speak too soon
You're right.
on my
You're right.
predictions here. I don't wanna jinx it, but
Yeah.
with that geisha ban, with that opera singer ban, we could see a gamekeeper once again. We could see that fool's gold that we've all been kind of waiting for here. But it's up to the cards. It's up to whatever Fusion's playbook is going to dictate.
Yep. It's again, it's a small map and it's also very very flat, so could be anybody. And like you said, Gamekeeper is in the mix. So it'll definitely be very very interesting if we do get a Gamekeeper. Um I feel like the first officer pick is if they do get a Gamekeeper. Um
Hmm.
I because as you said, it does make the Poseidon Watch does make it a lot harder to hit him with the hook when you're going for a rescue, as well as if you choose to chase him. So it is viable of a pick to go against the Gamekeeper, and even Mike gets countered here by the Gamekeeper. He can just hook him out of the bomb. Norton, I'm not too sure. Aesop, if he doesn't move his coffin, maybe. But he is more of a rock hider, so uh, he does. He doesn't really have mobility. He doesn't really have. He's just utility mostly. So they definitely are counting on the first officer if we do see Gamekeeper here.
Yeah, we do have our win conditions and tie, etc., coming through. To make it brief, whoever wins this round wins. Whoever loses this round loses. If it is a draw coming up here, then we will be heading into round 4. But I am going to say we have a lot of people excited for this pick. Fool's Gold has entered the stadium here for what will possibly and hopefully be the final match here. This is definitely kind of the pick that has been really, really anticipated in this tournament. I feel like as a whole, I feel like Fool's Gold has kind of been asked for, every time Mushin plays, knowing that he kind of has that
yeah.
in his catalog. But I'm definitely excited to see, because I was able to, I think I was actually commentating for that. I think Mima was actually commentating too, a couple tourneys ago, right when Fool's Gold first released. We did get to see kind of early Mushin playing Fool's Gold. So I'm really excited to see that kind of making a return here. That was like, I feel like 8 months ago or something.
That was a long time ago.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mission kept asking. Fool's Gold had it was like literally first week of release, and we had the tournament, and Fool's Gold was like heavy on Mission's mind. He kept asking, "Can I play Fool's Gold? Can I play Fool's Gold? Can I play Fool's Gold?"
and now we're
They-
seeing that here. Fool's Gold open on the table, and I'm very excited. We do have an update on scoring though. Okay, yeah. So okay. Yeah, tie is going to be overtime. We're doing all of our staff working very, very hard behind the scenes here to kind of finalize the scoreboard and make sure that we have everything in order. But yeah, winner wins, loser loses. Tie here, if we get a draw in this match, will take us into overtime. So, no pressure on either side. But yeah, I mean, this is, it's kind of testament to how high the stakes are.
Yep, definitely.
We're getting down into the nitty gritty of it, so to speak. But I do want to take a second to kind of shout out people in the chat that I am very, very familiar with. It's very good to see kind of familiar faces coming back and back again. Thank you all so much for supporting us, for supporting the tournament. It's been a blast. It's really it's been so much fun here.
It's so well organized, so accommodating as well. Typically I get really nervous when I commentate, so the first day I got really sick after I commentated.
Oh no.
So it was from nerves. It was from nerves. So
No, it was
I
my fault.
Yeah, it was your fault.
We commentated together.
You were sick that day,
I feel
yeah.
like it's kind of full circle too, because we commentated the first match and now we're commentating the final match.
Yeah. It's full circle. So it's really, really accommodating. Staff has made me feel welcome. Staff has made most of us feel welcome. And there has been a little bit of bumps in the road, but they've all been smoothed out. And staff is absolutely amazing. And I honestly hope that this tournament or any other brand of this tournament does see more attention, because it definitely deserves it. And
absolutely,
the players deserve attention. The staff deserves attention.
Not commentators, though. Not commentators.
No, not commentators. No, we suck. We suck. We're horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, getting into this match here, we are going to see, it looks like no borrowed time on that Embalmer, which is pretty typical. We've got that Tide Turner also on the First Officer, as is normal. We've got Flywheel on the Prospector, and for our Acrobat, looks like we were carrying Broken Windows. So a lot of kiting potential, a lot of harassment potential heading into this match. Definitely excited to see kind of the Norton versus Norton that is inevitable here.
This is a dream for Mima, to have 2 Nortons in one match.
I feel like, it's gonna be the battle of the century here. And it looks like we may actually be seeing that Prospector sooner than later. Everybody kind of clustered in this corner playing keep away with that Embalmer. I would say we might see a repeat Acrobat first kite. But yeah, I mean, it's anybody's game here once again, and possibly for the final time. I am Bones here with Bugs. It's been a blast here, but heading into the second half of round 3 with Fusion hunting and CH4 surviving. Best of luck to both teams, and let's get right into it.
Every time we do that, I hold up 2 little peace signs every time that happens. Even though you can't see it.
Loving the visualization. It looks like we are actually going to go for Prospector, though, on this first chase. Not the Acrobat, as I had expected. Going for the chip hit there, though. We are going to get the pushback on that Magnet. And continuing into this area. Oh, we're going to get a second chip hit!
Oh my gosh. Now the Norton is 1 chip away from a down, as well as the pickaxe coming off cooldown. But we will be just hitting him with the pickaxe instead of going for a chip here. This is really unfortunate quick down, but Cyphers are at half, so and we do see somebody in the distance already making their way for a rescue. Fool's Gold, however, will be looking to pressure the Cyphers.
Yeah. And just the aggression here from the Fool's Gold too,
very fast-paced.
No time at all.
We
are gonna see
very aggressive.
Yeah. We're gonna see a little bit of bait here from the first officer, looking to just waste a lot of time away from this chair. You know, Prospector did get down very, very early. We're gonna just try and avoid getting hit as long as possible here. First officer, though, does need to be careful not to get too close, but we are going to go ahead and take that hit. First officer able to get the rescue with Tide Turner, so that is going to buy a lot of valuable time here for CH4. Gonna have the magnet on Fool's Gold here. Not quite able to get the unsteady area there, and a nice short stun from Prospector once again, but the blink coming through and actually stunning Mushin out of attack recovery.
Oh my goodness. This is so intense. We'll also be seeing the Embalmer having to rotate away from the kiting area. It's rearing to be that he's going to be the next chase, and that is going to be definitely something to work with here.
Yeah. Oh, coming up a little bit short on that pickaxe throw, but we are closing in on the Embalmer here. Going for the unsteady. Yes, we are going to be able to get that chip hit in. And Embalmer is going to use that broken windows here to get quite a bit of distance. But, of course, he does need to be very, very careful of getting too close to the walls here. Narrowly avoiding that chip hit once again. But is going to get the basic hit, though. So he's one chip down.
He's also gotten a good distance away from his coffin as well. I don't know if the Fool's Gold could actually make it to that coffin if he threw his pickaxe, but he'd definitely be very close. It seems like we're getting a chair shot, and hopefully we'll be seeing the coffin come into play because our famed rescuer is injured.
Yeah, I would say we are going to see that coffin here, not only because the rescuer is injured, but also because we want to just stay as far away from this Fool's Gold as possible. Oh no!
Missing the dash there, unfortunately. The Embalmer will be taken back to the back corner here. The Acrobat is in the area, and it seems that we're going to be switching chase to the Acrobat, trying to get as much damage as we can on all these survivors.
Yeah, we've got one Cypher remaining here. Going for the chip hit on Acrobat. Looks like that was able to land. All survivors are injured here, but is that final Cypher being decoded is the real question in this situation. Going to continue the chase on Acrobat, though. Heading into this back corner is a little bit dangerous. It is a very strong kiting area, but of course there are quite a lot of walls here. We're going to go for the basic hit there, and looking for it. Looks like Embalmer has a Cypher at 71%. If Fool's Gold is able to catch up here, we could disrupt that final Cypher progress.
Yes, as
Looks
well
like
as
Embalmer is
we
going to be
have Blink
conscious
to
of that,
work
though.
we do have Blink to work with as well. And it seems that the Embalmer is taking a hiding strategy here, and giving more time for the first officer's Cypher to be worked on. The new Cypher.
Wow.
Really amazing hiding from this Embalmer. And we do have the Acrobat in the area ready to take over for the kite again. And
Oh! Embalmer accidentally popping up a little bit early there, just visible through the window. But that was quite a lot of time kind of playing the Explorer
Yeah.
game here. We're gonna go ahead and go for the hit. Embalmer doesn't have borrowed time, so they
The
can't,
red
even
light
if that
trick.
Cypher was primed. Yeah, nicely done there.
the red light trick.
We're gonna see survivors rotating here. It looks like first officer is going to be coming in for the rescue here. He is a little bit safer with that pocket watch. Acrobat obviously not very safe with that chip damage. Cypher at 88%. Fool's Gold needs to be cautious here. We are going to be able to get the hit in on first officer. Not quite going for the pop just yet, though. Okay, we are going to go for the pop here, knowing that Embalmer... Oh, no, missing the blink!
Oh no! We will be seeing the Embalmer take over the kite here. He is one chip down, but the dungeon is in play, but we will be seeing the Embalmer go back to the manor. And we do not have teleport to work with.
No, only detention here. Blink is still on the table.
exit gate is at 68%. I don't know if Fool's Gold's going to be able to catch up. We could be looking at overtime here in the finals. That is going to be a 2-man escape here for that draw.
And we are going to be heading into round 4. That is tied points, tied round as well, with CH4 taking the victory for this round. And yeah, just absolutely incredible here that we are going to be seeing overtime in this match.
Absolutely incredible. It another match where I absolutely did not expect the outcome. That was incredible. With how aggressive he was playing, you'd think that he would have been able to pull off at least the 3-man. That was incredible coordination from the survivors.
If he had brought trump card and not used the blink last second there, I think that absolutely would have been, you know, even a 4-man elimination if he'd been able to make it to the opposite gate. Unfortunately, that just wasn't the case there. The hiding, I think, from the Embalmer was what clutched that win.
Really bought a
Just
lot of
wasting
time.
enough time to get that Cypher primed.
It was really detrimental almost that he was able to hide there. And I honestly I thought for sure that they would have gotten stuck at the gate because it was the acrobat opening the gate. And as we know, Mike opens the gate a lot slower than other survivors. So it was almost by the skin of their teeth they escaped there.
Yeah, I think it really came down to the fact that the blink was missed. I think that if Fool's Gold had been able to get that down just a second sooner, then it really could have been it really could have been that, you know, 3-4-man elimination that Fusion needed. But heading into overtime here, we are going to be looking at the same global bans that we were working with in the previous rounds. This is going to come down to basically winner take all. If it's a tied match, it's going to come down to the tie. So fastest escape, fastest, you know, if it's 4-man elimination, fastest 4-man elimination. So I would say we're really going to be looking at kind of I mean, it depends on the strategy here. You know, if we're looking for, you know, drawing out the match as long as possible in order to try and secure the win that way, we could be seeing some really, really tanky team comps, a little bit of a return of like Koa 4 meta here. Something like Wildling, Explorer's been, you know, pretty round 4-ish. But, you know, we could also just go, you know, the other direction and head for, you know, really, really strong containment, strong harassment, trying to get, you know, as many survivors out the gate as possible. I will say in this situation, it's a little bit unfortunate that Embalmer is going to be global banned for CH4 here with that first pick. But, you know, it is what it is in that case. Global bans are the way they are for a reason. It really is kind of a ban pick strategy here. I don't think anybody was expecting that we were going to go into overtime here. So it's unprecedented as much, you know, as they can perform as much and as well as possible. So yeah, really whatever happens in this round is going to be the, not only, you know, it's the deciding factor, obviously, but yeah, just incredible that we're making it this far. I really want to
Chinatown.
see a Chinatown pick coming in round 4 because not only is it a strong map, but it's a really strong map for a lot of hunt if we end up going with that Chinatown map pick. But we'll see. We'll see what these teams decide to go with and you know, how they're really able to manage themselves. Sacred Heart would also be really interesting here, especially because it's such a survivor-sided map. I feel like a lot can be done with that as well.
Yeah, and I mean a lot. You know who we haven't seen in a while? Fiona.
Uses. I wouldn't be surprised to see her come out here, especially if we are going to see Chinatown, or, you know, something like Moonlit. Sacred Heart as well could be really, really good for Priestess. If she's
A couple hunters, of course, but you know, she's wonderful to have. So I'm looking forward to if we do see Chinatown, I'm looking forward to a tour mission. I'm looking forward to a priestess. Looking forward to even a prisoner.
A
Also,
prisoner pick. Honestly, it's not out of the question. We did actually see a couple prisoner picks in tournament this year, so we could be seeing, even just a little bit of a resurgence of, decoder viability.
yeah, I mean, especially on a map like Chinatown, everything is so spread out, and uh, if you have to go rescue or something, the prisoner can just link to your cipher, take over, and you can after the rescue's done, you could just start another cipher, and it'll be probably the cipher will probably be done by then. Like it's
Mhm.
he's definitely really strong on big maps. So he's something that I want to see. Um, what else do I want to see? Let me be a little bit more lenient to the hunters. I want to see um hmm well Mary obviously. Night Watch. Night Watch would be good
Night
on
Watch on
Chinatown.
Chinatown, I think would be fun.
Yeah, those middle areas are really open for him, so uh Night Watch. Um let me think. Sorry, we have a little visitor here and he's kind of distracting me a little bit. It's baby. But um hmm
I would
I
definitely I mean, I wouldn't say I would wish to see a lizard. I think a lizard pick would be unprecedented and interesting.
hmm,
Uh a very high risk though. But I mean, I can't go through a stream without mentioning lizard at least once. So
yeah.
that's my lizard drop for today.
Yeah.
I would love to see something. I mean, I've gotten my hermit fill. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be opposed to seeing another hermit, especially in a situation like this. You can really um it's kind of goes either way because hermit matches can get really slow, but they can
Mhm.
also be very fast. You do kind of want to look for a fast match heading into round 4 just in case it ends up being a tie.
Mhm.
And you want to get the best possible result in the least amount of time. I would say depending, I feel like it really depends on the map here. It definitely depends on the map
Yeah, and I mean,
because
we're talking so highly of Chinatown, we don't even know if it's gonna be Chinatown yet.
mhm. But yeah, it
Maybe
really depends
Secret.
on the map because there's hunters who are just completely, they're great on one map. Like if we're going Chinatown, I would say, we could possibly see something like a clown, something like I mean, Wheel is good uh on both Moonlit and Chinatown, but less
Mhm.
good on something like Sacred Heart. I would not be surprised if we see Sacred Heart here just because, it is such a good map
Mm.
for survivors. In that case, you really wouldn't see a clown, you really wouldn't see a breaking wheel. But, you know, I it definitely depends on that. I feel like if anything, we could see like a disciple possibly.
Yeah.
If it's Chinatown, I would love to see a wax artist come out.
Yeah. Yeah, he would be good on, Chinatown, actually, I hadn't even thought of that. Um, we might even see a Michiko. Like, if we are on Chinatown, we might see a Michiko, maybe. She's not the weakest on it, but she's also not the strongest on it. She's kinda neutral. She does, give a lot of presence to that little area by hotel reception where the stairs and the drop down are.
Mhm.
So that might be interesting. Uh, who else? Well, if it's sacred, we might actually see Lucino because he can,
That would be kind of a death sentence.
for Lucino.
Very much. a death
Yeah,
sentence.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
It's
This-
it's easy to kind of like move
Mm,
areas very quickly.
mhm.
It's it's especially inside the hospital.
Yeah.
It's much harder to kind of
Jump. Yeah.
jump, maneuver around. But on the note of Lizard, though, it looks like our map of choice is actually going to be Leo's memory. So Lizard is good on Leo's memory
Completely.
if we were to see a Lizard. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up for that. Just because that is kind of an unconventional pick. But
Hey,
Leo's
you never
memory
know.
here, I feel like Leo's memory here, they're going to need to ban Gamekeeper. They're going to need to ban,
Mm,
um Opera Singer might not need to be banned here unless, she is kind of she's not bad at by any means on Leo's memory. She's a slightly less of a danger just because of the size of the map, just because of the amount of the map that there is to kite in. It's a much larger map. It's a much more kind of varied terrain map. Um, but we are only getting 3 hunter bans, so survivors really will need to use those wisely. And also use their counter comp wisely as well to kind of knock off as many prospects as possible.
yeah. It's really anybody's game at this point. And Leo's. Uh. Hmm. Let me think. We might see a toy merchant on Leo's. Maybe.
We
I
could
might get my
definitely
toy
see a
merchant.
toy merchant if she's not banned. I would definitely expect her to
Yeah,
get
she's
banned
not
if she's
banned.
not locked in like first.
Yeah.
I think that they'll definitely need to get her out as soon as possible if they don't want her to get banned. Because I would say she and Priestess are really at the top of the list here.
Yeah.
Antiquarian as well, though. Antiquarian, Seer, obviously, um, have not yet been seen, have not yet been let out of the ban jail. I would definitely kind of expect them to kind of sit there a little bit longer,
Yeah.
and maybe allow for that priestess, maybe allow for that toy merchant to come out.
Mm,
But yeah, it really
uh,
does come down to what the
yeah.
teams select and what they kind of decide to ban out first. But we do have our global bans up now. Is once again going to be gardener, dancer, cheerleader, acrobat, forward, and embalmer. So that's 6 survivors off the table already. And unfortunately for us, we are going to see that toy merchant ban first, as well
No.
as the antiquarian. That does leave priestess on the table. It also leaves seer on the table. We could definitely see either or both of those locked in first here. They are very, very heavy hitters. I would be a little bit concerned at the lack of a seer ban, though, just because that does mean, if we are looking at fusion hunting, might mean that seer's not, or that geisha maybe not on the table here if she's not a priority ban. But of course, antiquarian always kind of a nuisance here. And toy merchant as well can just break so much distance
Mm,
that we could definitely see a seer ban coming up if he's not picked now.
yeah, there's definitely a lot to work with these bands. I would go for the priestess band pick rather, just because she does her support is absolutely amazing, and her chase is um so difficult, especially in the factory area where she can just portal through the ground and go through and uh be possibly even rotate to the little window there at the bottom of the stairs. She's definitely strong on this map, so I personally would go for the priestess pick at this point in time. We do have our uh third band coming in. The why did I say toy merchant? Dancer.
Yeah, dancer was in fact not globally banned. She will be banned here, though. Definitely not something that we want to see. We should have survivor picks coming through in a moment, as well as our hunter bans should be coming up here.
Mm.
Definitely intrigued to see, what they are going to choose to ban. I would definitely be expecting, I would say maybe leaving Fool's Gold open might be a possibility. But yeah, we will see in just a moment. All right, yeah, we are going to pick or ban, I suppose, the geisha as well as opera singer here. So Fool's Gold and Gamekeeper are still on the table. And for our survivor picks, we're going to have a little bit of, early action here. We've got the psychologist as well as the novelist and the journalist here. Journalist, not something that we see every day, but definitely a welcome face.
Yeah, I mean, has she been seen in this tournament yet? Yeah, she has. Because I remember you told me something about deploying the baby or the orphan or something like that, and I looked at you
Yes.
strangely.
That is my not catchphrase. That is how I refer to the mini Orpheus here. But with, I guess this is kind of like a monkey's paw for you, Bugs, isn't it?
Yeah, I
That
finally
the
get to see my
patient
Luca.
ban, the patient ban prisoner lock here.
I'm so happy to see him.
I guess you've got prophetic powers here with that prisoner coming out.
Yeah, tell
That's
me about
again.
the future. The way I
I'm
see it.
surprised to see prisoner here, but this is, I don't think anybody, yeah, no one on this team except for journalists, once the orphans get hit, has a decoding debuff. Well, novelist has a weird relationship with ciphers. He has a 10% increase in decoding until he hits 50% on the cipher, and then he has a 10% decrease because he's bad at finishing his stories. That's the canon description for that trait, is that he starts off his novels strong and then has trouble finishing them, so he gets slower as he nears the end of the cipher. I do like it. I like it when characters have kind of oddball traits like that, but
Yeah,
the cipher rush on this team is definitely nothing to sneeze at.
yeah, it's definitely strong, especially since they went with journalist. I don't know if you mentioned it, but she doesn't have a decoding debuff, does she?
For journalists, she gets a decoding debuff once. I don't remember how much it is. I think it's up to 19% decoding debuff. She might actually start with one if I'm remembering, but I'm not up to par on my journalist stats. That's my bad. But we are gonna see a Night Watch coming out here. I did not see
Itaka!
this one coming.
Oh, Itaka. It's so wonderful to see him, I'm not gonna lie. I love playing Itaka on this map. It's so fun. Because you literally can just glide all over the place. It's the most fun I've had in ages.
Going for a little bit of ice skating there, I guess.
Yep.
But I feel like Night Watch is a little bit risky here, honestly, just because
Yeah.
there's so many areas to kind of like take him into, make it so that like Night Watch is very speed. He's very fast.
There's
He
a lot of
breaks
things to hit.
distance. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things to kind of bump into, and we did we saw that a little bit in Fool's Gold. Night Watch is kind of like that, but more, I suppose, because you are kind of working with those dashes, and you have very limited resources with them. Until you hit max presence, I think that presence here is really important. I'm very interested to see the persona, the hunter persona here, because
Yeah.
insolence is very good on Night Watch, but we did just see Trump Card kind of make or break the previous match. So yeah, we'll have to see.
And it's definitely gonna be a big competition. Happy birthday, Alice, by the way. If
Oh, it is her birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Alice. Good to see her on her birthday. Hopefully nothing horrible happens to her. Wink, wink. But oh, you get to see your Invisible Man as well.
see Invisible Man seems like a little bit of a
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah.
contradiction here. But yeah, heading into our penultimate match, let's say. Yeah, we're gonna have Prisoner spawning in the factory here, Novelist looking for that kite in the center, Journalist up at the shack, and Psychologist in the center here near the Christmas tree. Nightwatch, I feel like Novelist is a little bit dangerous. I would definitely go
Yeah.
for that Psychologist first here. Maybe for Journalist first, but the babies are not ideal to kind of contend with here. I feel like Psychologist is probably the safest chase here. Novelist, I think, is going to rotate in the way of that though, so that's definitely something we're gonna have to be conscious of.
Yeah. Especially since the babies don't really give presents, so he can't, even if he hits them, he can't farm presents off of them and get the suction to have the babies be essentially useless. So Psychologist is probably the best pick here. Ooh.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
I was gonna say something out of pocket just now.
heading into the match here, we are going to see us heading into the
Ooh.
center-ish, but Survivor's rotating out of the area very quickly. It looks like Novelist is actually heading into the factory. Prisoner, though, hasn't left the factory, so looks like Nightwatch is going to be catching this Prisoner for the first chase.
Yeah, and Basement is here in the factory as well, so offers a extra layer to. Oh, I got nervous there. But we will be seeing the Prisoner doing the standard loop here in the factory. He still has his shock to work with as well. We do have combined face on the Itaka.
Yeah, we are going to see that shot go through there at the window. Unfortunately, not getting that hit through the pallet there. A little bit risky playing around here, looking to bait out the vault, and that's exactly what Prisoner's going to do with the tear shot.
Oh my god! Cutting that containment short, and we're going to see a chair here. Novelist Cypher only at 30% from that ping. What a way to start this match. We are needing to look at a very, very quick match here, looking to keep our overtime stats in check. So, yeah, what a way to start that.
That is incredible. We will be seeing the Novelist use the Boogie Boogie here. Journalist is coming in for the rescue. It doesn't seem that he's taken note of it yet. Ooh, barely getting it just over half. Just under half, rather. And we will be seeing the Prisoner get hit once again.
Very
Beautiful.
fortunate there, though, that we were able to get that body block with the Orphan.
Yeah. Because now we can do a second rescue if we wanted to.
Yeah, looking for that extra presence here. Unfortunately, Prisoner is going to go down before that is a reality, so we're still looking at just slightly over half presence here. That's the other thing with the Orphan body block as well. It does mean that Nightwatch doesn't have any more presence. Wasn't able to get the second hit on Journalist. So we are gonna sit within Tinnitus range here, but it does look like we're actually gonna go for this rescue. We're gonna just opt to sell Prisoner, not wanting to get any more presence into Nightwatch. Wait, Journalist heading in the area. But she was able to get the rescue out here. And Prisoner is going to be rescued. Nicely done on that vault, staying out of the range of Nightwatch's hitbox.
And we still do have a shock to work with here. And this is a very excellent area to be in if you're a survivor. We will be seeing 2 ciphers done at this moment, almost 3. And it's really looking like he's about to maybe see another rocket chair.
Oh!
Shock.
Nicely done with that shock. It looks like, yeah, it is only going to last an extra moment there, but every second is valuable time, and that is exactly what Prisoner has brought here. Unfortunately, he will be getting sent back to the manor, but we're already at 1 cipher remaining. Just like I said before the match started, the cipher rush is incredible. We are going to switch here, looking at the Novelist. Important to note, though, Nightwatch is carrying Confined Space and Trump Card, so we aren't carrying Detention here. It's a very dangerous position to be in at only 1 cipher remaining, but we are going to get a very nice down here on Novelist. Basement, unfortunately, not in the area, but we do have a chair nearby.
Yeah, this is I had noticed that it was trump card in confined, and I feel a little worried for in game, but again, Itaka does have the mobility to work with, so we will be seeing the journalist in the area. Um, Waiting until that Cypher is primed to make a move here.
Yeah, just buying as much time as possible here. Novelist approaching half chair, but once again, just as if they can pull a draw here, that's definitely, you know, it's going to be very, very good. So, and additionally, Nightwatch does not have detention, and I believe these survivors do know that because they have seen the trump card go off. They have seen they did see the confined space. So we will be entering the endgame here with a Cypher pop. Novelist on the run here. We do still have Flywheel to work with as well. So looking very, very strong heading into this final moments of this match.
Yeah, and
Oh!
ooh,
Nicely
buying extra
done with
time
that
for the gate to be
Flywheel.
open, and Boogie Woogie coming out as well. This is definitely going to be very interesting in game. Considering the journalist did not have borrowed time, she is at half health, so she is susceptible to being down. But it seems that the novelist has bought enough time for them to escape.
Yup, that is going to be both survivors nearly out the gate here with the teleport, though. They can get pulled out the gate. Psychologist getting a little bit risky there, but it looks like she's actually going to stay in the match here. Nightwatch without detention really can't do anything about her. But at this point, she really is just existing to buy time for that Novelist. We are going to see those dashes come through to try and get back to Novelist as fast as possible. He does have Sticker here because he does have Flywheel, so we could see him pop up. It looks like Mushin may have lost sight, but no, we are going to see Novelist get right back up again and unfortunately go straight back down. So that is going to be a draw here for CH4 survivors, but that was such a fight there.
That was incredible. I do believe that if Mission had bought detention, things could have turned out a little differently. Again, though, confined did kind of work in its favor during that little loop with the Luca in the back corner there. So, what do I know? I'm just a commentator. But that was
Uh-oh.
absolutely incredible. Uh-oh.
Oh, I think my Wi-Fi cut out for a second there, but I am all good.
Oh.
But yeah, just what a great match there. Definitely very high risk going no detention Nightwatch in this situation.
Yeah.
Right now, so for CH4, we are going to see CH4 hunting up next. For this overtime, we are going to be CH4 win conditions here will be a 3-man elimination or a faster draw. Or I guess it would be a faster draw here.
Mm.
From the survivor side, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, basically whichever team gets the fastest draw, bare minimum, is going to win. Other than that, CH4 needs a 3-man elimination. Fusion needs a 3-man escape here. So once again, we're kind of looking at winner take all or just fastest time wins. So it really is a race to the end of this overtime to the championship of this tournament.
Yeah, anything can happen at this point. Like, we really, these teams are on par with each other completely. I'm almost nervous for the next match because this is looking really, really tough. But a draw is, of course, really good. So,
Yeah, it kind of just
and
keeps us on this even keel.
yeah,
You know, tying and tying and tying.
the scales are
And I mean,
completely
it's
balanced.
yeah, the scales are literally completely balanced. You know, points wise, we are looking at completely tied points, even in the going into the second half of overtime. So it really is just a fight to the finish here.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely
Mm.
excited to see what we can be bringing out in this next half of the match, we will be seeing, our global bands will be returning for Fusion Survivors. I honestly, it really can go either way. It really just comes down to, if I feel like if Fusion Survivors can stay communicating and kind of just stay on par, get out the gate as fast as possible. But then again, we've seen the end games that Ling is able to achieve just stretch for so long. So I think like
Mhm.
if Ling is able to stretch out that end game, even if it's a draw, then it will be CH4 win. So yeah, it really comes down to just kind of the focus, the control on both sides. Who is able to kind of play the chess match in order to secure that victory.
Yeah, definitely. Hmm. It's still gonna be on Leo's, yeah? Hmm.
Yep, it's still going to be on Leo's memory. We're in the same round.
Maybe we'll see another Axe Boy. Maybe, I don't know. Um, maybe Lizard. It's never completely off the table.
Oh, I see. Okay, if we're aiming for a draw, then Lizard's not a bad choice. He is a
Mhm.
pretty fairly consistent tie hunter in the right situation. The issue with Lizard is that he's just like comically easy to kite if you just run the other direction.
Mhm.
Like if you see him jump and you turn the other way, most of the time that's going to work. So, uh yeah, I would be afraid of a Lizard pick here. I do think, something like, we could see that Bloody Queen coming out. We could see, I mean, if we're aiming for a tie, there's definitely a much larger hunter pool that we can achieve here. We could go for Disciple. We could go for, the Bloody Queen. Bloody Queen, not necessarily a tie hunter in the right hands, but
Mm.
you know, it really, it comes down to if, you know, if the bans, I think as well, if we're able to ban out, some of those heavy hits, some of those heavy hitters, um, if we're able to ban, maybe Prospector ban here would be on the table, just because we have seen that Prospector come out very very strongly from Fusion, so
Mhm.
I feel like yeah, taking out Fusion harassment here would be a good ban strategy for CH4. But other than that, you take out the harassers, you end up with all the tanks. So it really, you know, you kind of have to pick your poison in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, hmm. Well, they're just going for a tie, right? So,
They
yeah,
need
like
to
you
well,
said,
ideally they need to go for more than a tie,
yeah,
but
ideally
fastest
everyone goes for
time
one.
fastest time wins if we're looking at a tie.
Fast characters. Well, they're probably gonna ban Gamekeeper, so probably not Gamekeeper. He is
Yeah, I feel
fast
like
though.
if Gamekeeper's not on the table, I feel like they're very likely going to ban Axeboy, very likely going to ban I would say, I mean, in the off chance that Hermit isn't banned, it wouldn't be the worst option.
Yeah,
But there is also the risk of, the fact that Hermit is very easily exploitable. If you're
yeah,
able, and Fusion has proven that they are able to make Hermit lose focus, lose track of those survivors, um, you can push for more than a draw in that situation. And Hermit games tend to be very, very long. So I would
yeah,
say, you know, even if you're able to make the Hermit match fast, you run the liability of it being a super long match. So yeah.
yeah, and
But then again, it would be a long match on the Hunter's side, which would be bad for the survivors. So I would say Hermit might still be on the table in that concept, or in that sense.
and when you're in a coordinated team as well, um, my hero matches usually last about well, we don't even get a cipher done, but these guys These guys, however, they definitely can
Just
get
don't
at
get hit.
least one. Yeah, just don't get hit, Bozo. Like, it'll be definitely, if it was Hermit, yeah, it would be a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to get into our band picks here. Nightwatch remaining on the stage, but unfortunately, we will probably not be seeing him again. But we are going to have the Seer as well as the Antiquarian as our bands. Kind of, once again, visiting the band jail is kind of the name of the game here.
Yeah.
You do not want to see the Seer. You do not want to see the Antiquarian. You really just want to take those off the table as fast as you possibly can in order to avoid them being, coming out in those first two picks. But we will actually see that Hermit ban. So yeah, Survivor's not wanting to risk that long game, really looking for a fast game. So taking off, you don't want you controlling the ciphers. We don't want you slowing down the ciphers. We want to get out of here so that we can excuse me.
Yeah, we will be seeing the Toy Merchant. I was literally just about to say, Toy Merchant hasn't been banned yet. It's possible, but no, it seems that we will be seeing the Toy Merchant ban. But Priestess, however, is on the table. And don't worry, Itaka is not going to be our hunter again, unless he is. But it's probably not likely that he will make a second appearance here.
I lived.
Welcome back.
All right. And for our first two Survivor bands, yeah, I haven't been this is my own fault. I haven't been drinking water this whole time. And it's finally caught up to me. So yeah, that's why I momentarily died there for a second. But we're good. First two bands here, we are going to see the Novelist as well as the Lawyer. Lawyer does have very, very strong kiting potential as well as decoding potential. So we're really looking for that Cypher Rush here.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll be seeing a Gravekeeper pick come out as well.
The wrong GK. The other GK, I should say.
The other
Neither
GK.
of them are wrong.
Too many
I like them both
keepers in
very
this
much,
game.
but too many keepers.
Too many keepers. We need less. We'll be seeing an Aesop ban.
Yeah, that honestly does not surprise me, especially since, we do want to look for as few escapes as possible coming into this.
Yeah. And our last survivor will be Melly.
Yeah, it looks like we are going for that Axe Boy counter. Possibly also, yes, we will be seeing that Bloody Queen coming out here in the this will be the final match of the Logging Off League tournament, rounding us off with our Bloody Queen, which is just, very, very exciting to see here once again.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. All three of the monkey's fingers are curled.
I guess we'll just have to watch. Yeah, we'll just have to watch out. After this is over.
Yeah, I got my Mary. I got my Itaka. I got Luca. I even got a meal. I'm running low on fingers. I'm running low on the monkey's paw has curled so far that it's run out of fingers. Like,
watch out.
Something bad might happen to me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it doesn't happen during the match. Let's wait until after for bad omens to become reality. But yeah, I'm very excited to see kind of the Novelist versus Bloody Queen here, because it kind of feels like, it's swap versus swap.
Oh, you know what? It's half a DeCapo.
It is. It is, in fact. We're getting a little Time of Reunion Ashes of Memory action here. But I'm very excited to see, what this Bloody Queen is capable of. We have seen Bloody Queens perform really, really well on Leo's Memory. Kind of, before this year, especially, we have seen quite a few Bloody Queens actually on Leo specifically, which is like very odd of a like specific map to bring Bloody Queen on. But if it works, it works. And it has, I've definitely seen it work. But we will be seeing our Novelist with Flywheel. We've got all survivors with Borrowed Time. Gravekeeper with Tide Turner as per usual, and we're going to see Lawyer and Entomologist with that broken windows, just trying to keep as much distance away from the Hunter as possible. I do enjoy Flywheel on Novelist just because he does need to be very close to the Hunter, even if he is more of a container. Well, I guess he is kind of a harassment in that sense, but yeah. We are going to get into the spawn picks here. Looks like we are going to go ahead and protect our Lawyer in the factory. Entomologist spawning in the center here. We're going to see Novelist up in the shack and Gravekeeper over at the Moon Gate. Bloody Queen going to go ahead and complete that plus sign. And that is, yeah, we're really getting into it. We're really getting into this final overtime match once again. Tie here, it's going to go down to the fastest escape. And that will be our winner. If CH4 gets a win here, that is going to be the win for CH4. If Fusion gets the win, that is going to be the win for Fusion. But I am Bones, this is Bugs. It has been an honor to commentate for Logging Off League and entering our overtime final half. Good luck to both teams.
Yep. Seems that we're going to be going straight for the middle, just missing the Entomologist there. Seems that the Novelist is hiding, possibly looking to trigger Tinnitus, and the Mary is none the wiser as for right now.
Yeah, once again, Fusion Survivors really coming out the gate with this rotation. Does look like we've caught sight of the Gravekeeper, though. Kind of running a distraction here, looking to get in that shovel as soon as possible. Bloody Queen looking for the hit, actually able to get that shovel hit here. So that is one shovel down from our Gravekeeper. Mirror is up as well, and that's going to be a second basic hit right off the bat. We have already unlocked our presence. Bloody Queen, not really a presence-based hunter, but that's going to be 2 hits very early on into the match.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed this, but the Novelist was actually hiding in a way that was far away from a Cypher, so we're a little bit behind on Cyphers now. The second shovel will be coming out, blink hitting it, because we do have the mirror to work with now. And this might make for a relatively quick down.
Yeah, and that is exactly what we're looking at here. Novelist Cypher at about 40% here. Other Cyphers are further along, but still not a Cypher has popped yet. And that was the only Tide Turner on the team. So definitely not the safest situation to rescue in. We're going to see Novelist hiding inside or outside the shack here, actually. Trying to stay hidden as long as possible. We're going to see the mirror come out, but it looks like the mirror switch actually seeing the Novelist there. We're going to go ahead and switch with the Bloody Queen. That's exactly what I was looking to see with that double switching kind of coming into play. Beautiful rescue on the Gravekeeper, but oh, and the flywheel not quite connecting. Novelist taking a hit.
We'll be seeing the mirror ready again. Oh, not quite hitting the Gravekeeper yet, but getting him down. And we don't have anybody in the area to come through a rescue.
Yeah, we could possibly see Entomologist making her way across the map. We could also... Well, Lawyer is going to be focusing on decoding here. Wanted order on Novelist, though, does mean that Survivors need to be very, very careful here. It looks like Bloody Queen is just going to go ahead and try to pressure the Novelist here. While still camping a chair. It's exactly what you were talking about before as well, with the Bloody Queen's ability to kind of distance camp like this. Really just putting pressure all the way across the map, making it so Novelist can't decode. We are going to see Entomologist coming in for the rescue, though. And unfortunately not able to land that body block. Gravekeeper will be getting sent back to the manor here at 3 Cyphers remaining. So we are on a very, very good trajectory here. It really comes down to the rest of Fusion Survivors to kind of pick up this containment and make sure that the rest of the Cyphers can get done.
Yeah, especially since there was a little bit of delay at the beginning. There is a little bit of delay now as the Novelist was focusing on hiding as opposed to decoding his cipher, considering he had wanted order on him. Getting a pallet hit on the Entomologist. Looking to find a different target, though. This will also put a stagger on the cipher progress as well.
Yup, looks like we're gonna just go ahead and switch entirely over to the Lawyer here. Lawyer just playing around in this corner, trying to waste as much time as possible before transitioning out of the way. Lawyer can absolutely do this, though he does have a speed boost as well as his veterans boost here, so just gaining so much distance. We're gonna take another vault here as well for that broken windows ability to come into play. Just look at how much distance we've been able to break, but Mirror coming through to break that distance entirely. We're going to go for the hit here, and Lawyer is going to be down. Now, Cyphers are honestly looking pretty good here. We will be able to have a Cypher Prime by the time Lawyer is rescued, but we're actually going to go ahead and drop Lawyer, transitioning over to the Novelist here in the corner.
Yeah, it seems that we're going for a more aggressive playstyle, which is something that we really can bargain for here. The Cypher is not quite primed yet, unfortunately. So we will.
We're gonna see
A
basement
basement.
chair coming through here. None of them can comfortably rescue this until that Cypher is primed, but Bloody Queen can also just pressure the map here and make it so that they can't get close enough in order to get that rescue off in time. It does look like, I think, yeah, Entomologist is going to transition over to the Novelist Cypher. I believe that was at around 75%. So that's going to be where our Cypher is primed, but Ling keeping an eye on it, making sure that we know where the survivors are at all times. Going to use the mirror, but unfortunately no survivors in that area, and Entomologist has been able to return to the Novelist's Cypher completely unbothered. We're going to see Lawyer actually has a syringe here, going to try to heal before going in for the rescue.
So I think the Cypher is now primed, based on the Entomologist kind of just standing there. Or no, she's actually a little bit afraid of the mirror, it seems. The Lawyer will be taking a hit here, and we do have the opportunity for a drop and hit, in which that's exactly what we will be getting. Oh, and now the Novelist is trapped in the basement with the Mary.
Yup, Novelist in the basement here. Are we going to be able to pop the Cypher? Yes, we will. Novelist stuck in the back of the basement.
Oh my.
That's going to be 2 survivors here in the basement. We've already gotten the draw here, but we're looking at what could be a 4-man elimination coming up on the Entomologist here.
Oh my, this is unprecedented.
But yeah, unless Entomologist is somehow able to rescue the Lawyer, that is shot on the vault through the bees with that heavy hit. That's a 4-man elimination here in overtime for CH4 victory. Just absolutely incredible gameplay there. You know, you really can never underestimate Ling's Bloody Queen. That's absolutely, you just can't underestimate, you know, the power of that Bloody Queen.
That was absolutely incredible.
And just
Wow.
such a fun match to end us off with, you know, just the control here, going, you know, bold to go for the Gravekeeper first, but Gravekeeper just getting caught off guard there. You know, that's the thing, you know, you go for the Rescuer first here. Rescuers aren't always expecting that first kite. You know, they're expecting to act as bait and then, you know, kind of transition away. We did actually see that Gravekeeper get baited away earlier. I feel like Gravekeeper was definitely expecting, you know, bait out the shovel. Bloody Queen's gonna leave, but she absolutely did not leave. Getting those 2 hits immediately, getting that down so fast, and just being able to pressure those Cyphers. If Novelist had borrowed time there, but even then, I don't know if he would have been able to make it out of the basement. That was just
I don't think so. He didn't have
so
Boogie
strong.
Woogie. He didn't have Boogie Woogie, so I don't think he would have been able to. That was absolutely incredible. The Novelist not having borrowed time. Very strange, because it seems that we were told that he had borrowed time, but I guess he switched last second, or perhaps brought the wrong persona. That was absolutely incredible. Like, wow.
Yeah, I am just so impressed there. But congratulations to our logging off league champion in CH4. And also, congratulations to Fusion as well, coming up in second place. Even so, just the fact that we went into overtime with a tie in the first half of overtime just you know, really, really speaks to the strength of both of these
Mhm.
teams. The absolute insanity that we have witnessed today, it has been so much fun and just such an honor to be brought on to commentate for this tournament. I had such a great time. And I also had a really great time with you, Bugs. I mean, I feel like we really are coming full circle here, commentating for the
Yeah,
first and the final match of the tournament.
yeah. Again, the organizers have made me feel so welcome. Even though I did get nervous, uh, I really do. Like I feel like I can commentate a little bit more confidently now.
It just takes practice. It just takes practice and
Yeah.
reinforcement. The first tournament I did was a little bit over a year ago now, and I can't look back on that and say that I'm proud of what I did. But shameless plug here, but I do commentary on my own time. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/206bones with 2 underscores. You can find me there. You can also find me here on YouTube, also under 206bones. That's where I post my stream VODs. I've also been uploading various matches from Call of the Abyss, kind of doing solo match commentary in case you don't have a lot of time on your hands to sit through, a 2-3 hour stream of me yapping. But
Mhm.
yeah, and I also play Hunter sometimes. I also play Survivor sometimes. I'm kind of mediocre at the game, but I do commentary. So if you're interested in seeing more of that, you can check me out on Twitch or on YouTube. And where can we find you, Bugs?
You can find me on Twitch, YouTube. It's Bugs Bee Bite. It's two B's. I do play IDV. I'm currently in the process of a rebrand of my VTuber self, so uh, no Bugs content yet. It's past life
But
stuff,
soon, it's
but soon.
upcoming. It's in the
It's
cooker.
upcoming.
It's in the crock pot.
It's steaming right now. I am cooking. So it will be exciting, and I do hope to see some friendly faces when I do inevitably make my return on YouTube. It is also Bugsy Bite. I used to be a IDV content creator, and a lot of my older matches are on it. And I did do a lot of not commentary on my own matches, but like I would put like a little text box and explain my thought process if that is something that you're interested in. I did do dual factions. A lot of the survivor, the hunters I played were mostly the same. But uh, I, if you do choose to look, you will see my very shameful Joseph matches. So,
Oh no.
from when I was a Joseph main. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, it is actually just Bugs Bite in all caps. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter as well at Lethal Crash, spelled exactly the same way as the lizard skill. I post about tournament. I post about kind of everything. But I've been updating about this tournament there. So when this tournament happens again, I will absolutely be updating there. Other than that, thank you so much to everybody involved, to the tournament runners, to all of the staff, our VC mods, our stream mods as well, and of course to every single team that has come together to make this tournament happen. We quite literally could not do it without you. You are absolutely a requirement for the tournament to run. So thank you all so much for your cooperation and for just putting on such a great tournament. So yeah, other than that, I don't have anything else to say. So I am 206 Bones and I will be signing off.
Yep. And I'm Bugs Bite, and I will also